$100 gift to the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews to help provide life-saving aid and other critically needed emergency supplies. Call to make your gift right now at 888-488-IFCJ. That's 888-488-4325. Or go online to supportifcj.org to give. That's one word, supportifcj.org.
Tune into your new favorite show that's redefining the A to Z's of marketing, The Marketing Mad Men. We'll take you behind the scenes of successful campaigns and reveal the strategies that win. We're not just talking about marketing, we're making it happen. From viral content creation to leveraging AI for customer engagement, our experts bring you to the cutting edge of industry. This is your playbook for market dominance. Tune in and transform your approach with actionable tips that could skyrocket your ROI. The Marketing Mad Men every Saturday at 4 p.m. right here on XTRA 106.3.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. The 3 p.m. hour is presented by First Liberty Building and Loan.
Hey, it's Rhino from The Morning Extra, getting your weekday morning started from 6 to 10 a.m.
Free speech is such an important factor when it comes to a regular, healthy republic. And so I want you to take a listen to Kamala Harris, what she thinks about X.
He has lost his privileges. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation.
Oversight and regulation.
Those words are
communist style.
The Morning Extra, 6 to 10 a.m. on XTRA 106.3 FM and the XTRA app.
A surprise from President Biden. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News, showing up in the White House briefing room a short time ago and taking questions from reporters after taking something of a victory lap on the suspension of a port strike and a stronger than expected jobs report.
From the very beginning, we were told time and again that the policies we were pursuing, we'd put forward weren't going to work, make things worse, including some of the other team are still saying they're going to make things worse. But we've proven them wrong.
254,000 jobs were added in September with upward revisions for the previous 2 months. Former President Trump has highlighted a trend of native-born workers losing jobs and foreign-born workers gaining them. As Israel considers a response to Iran's missile attack earlier this week, President Biden says if it were him, he'd think about other alternatives to striking oil facilities, after previously appearing to suggest he might support those as targets. He also responded to a question about whether Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu might be trying to influence the U.S. election by not agreeing to a ceasefire at this point.
No administration has helped Israel more than I have. None. And I think Bibi should remember that.
But he adds he does not know whether Netanyahu is trying to influence the election. The president did not get a question about criticism of the federal response to Hurricane Helene, not just from former President Trump, but some survivors in hard-hit areas, saying they're not getting help fast enough.
The real heroes of this community are actually the community itself. It takes so long to get papers signed in Washington. We've got boots on the ground here, actually, the neighbors helping neighbors.
He's in Swannanoa, North Carolina. Trump visits that state later today, just arriving first in Georgia. Vice President Kamala Harris goes to North Carolina tomorrow. She's campaigning today in Michigan. America is listening to Fox News.
Madame Giselle senses something big coming.
Is it a career change?
Everything looks wet.
I'm going to be a swim teacher.
There's a roof.
A swim teacher who also does roofing.
No. The roof of your RV has a leak and it's ruining the furniture.
Oh, that's okay. I'm covered by Progressive. But maybe I'm a swim teaching roofer who makes furniture.
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Roof Protection Plus and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Roof Protection Plus available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine.
Not fun.
Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here we go. Howdy. Look out. Stand by. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire. And the mechanical mangler at the controls. It's Flounder, and it's Let Her Rip Friday. Anything goes. How you doing? Here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And once again, we've made it through a week. And if we'd love to have you join us today. What's ever on your mind? Kind of wrapping up the stuff or anything new, anything old. It's Let Her Rip. Every day's Let Her Rip any day you want. So what the hell? Pete Davis, what's new in the mountains of Macon up there?
I suddenly realized that, we call elevators, and the British called them lifts, right?
Yeah. Well, all I can say really about this whole thing is Saturday. Sorry, I had to get my Saturday shout out in there. Yes, sir, you were saying the lift.
Yeah, I guess we were raised differently.
We were raised differently, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's like farting in an elevator is wrong on so many levels. I just can't say. Thank you.
Well, you always have to talk me, my friend.
Yeah, be very careful, my friend. In fact, I've got I think 30 episodes of The Sopranos on my DVR history that I've been playing one every night, just for the hell of it. Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, how's it going? 304, and again the number 404-741-1230, 1230. May I say this first of all? Tomorrow is going to be the anniversary of my daughter Jennifer's getting clean and sober after being, she's still an addict. She'll always be an addict. She's a recovering addict. Heroin, cocaine, speedball, she did it all. She did all that stuff. And tomorrow will mark 20 years of clean and sober. And I'll tell you what, she's had a hell of a life because of the results of the things that happened because of her drug use. We didn't know whether she was dead or alive for a couple, 2-3 years. And I'll never forget. Hadn't talked to her in literally in years. And all of a sudden, one was living in Brookhaven, and all of a sudden the phone rang and I answered it, and it was Jennifer. And I started bawling like a little baby because I hadn't talked to her. I didn't know whether she was dead or alive. She was in jail a couple of times. I sent her money to get, feminine products and stuff because you have to have anyway, long story. 20 years, sweetie. Congratulations. And I'm very proud of you. You're a real role model for that kind of thing. 20 years tomorrow. So pretty cool. 306. In fact, I used to do it with my horse, Jack the Good Boy, and I would do a little poster for us. So I'm going to go up to the stable tonight because there's a concert in my neighborhood again tonight, so I'm going to avoid the traffic by going to the stable, and maybe I'll do a little something for her tomorrow with the horses. Anyway, Flounder, what's new with you, sir, in the last 24 hours? Any happiness of goodness of any sort here?
Same old, all is well.
Well, there you are. Anyway, it's Let Her Rip Friday, and we got a bunch of things in the news, and let's see, a couple of news stories, actual newsy type things. And again, it's we'll talk a lot of politics, talk a lot about the storm stuff. Yes, sir?
Isn't it funny that right here for the election, the port strike that was hurting the Democrats has mysteriously cleared itself up until after the election, and a jobs report comes out that's just glowing, even though in 6 months we'll get the revised numbers that are always down and nowhere near the good, but both of those come out the same day before the election. Isn't that just amazing?
That's hard to believe. And by the way, remember now, on the job figures, for the last year, they've been wrong by something like 800,000 jobs. They were wrong.
Nowhere near.
And
they're all good until 6 months later.
Yeah, and they say, well, we had to readjust the figures. So, anyway, this freak... And again, the guys right before us talking about the latest. They had some guy who's an expert in polling, like county by county for America. I mean, the guy knows every stat of every piece of research ever done, apparently. And they keep saying the freaking polls show 50-50, basically. It's a toss-up. I just can't believe it.
The gamblers are voting on Trump.
Yeah. Well, you got to go with the gamblers. But again, gamblers don't win 100% of the time. So anyway, oh, God. All right, 404-741-1230. All right, got Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Some newsy things, and including, I guess we're at war. Are we at war? I think we're at war. Here's a headline. United States bombs Yemen. I said, gee, wow. Wait a minute. We bombed another country? Is that okay, no? Yeah, jeez. U.S. bombs Yemen. Airstrikes launched on Iranian-backed Houthi targets. More than a dozen. Is it Houthi or Houthi? Houthi, right? Houthi targets in Yemen in a series of airstrikes on the rebels backed by Iran. Warships struck the strongholds and weapon systems in 5 locations after, remember, American warships were attacked in the Red Sea just the other day. And the joint operation also included military folks from Britain. It's obviously a sign of escalation in the Middle East, seeing what's going on about Israel retaliating against Iran for the latest rocket program. I mean, here, it's tit for tat, and we'll see what's going on. The rebels fired more than a half a dozen ballistic missiles at our ships and fired some drones at 3 American ships traveling through the strait, but they were all intercepted by Navy destroyers. So they're shooting back. They're trying to kill us. They're trying to kill Americans on our boats in the strait right off. And here we are. We're shooting at a foreign country, and we are trading fire, trading drones and fires and bombs and missiles. Okie dokie. And by the way, the Ayatollah Khamenei, 80 years old now, after 5 years, it's his first sermon in 5 years to tell people to hate America, the great Satan, and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, we're now at war with Yemen. God. So here, and again, I don't know what this means. I don't know if this is a thing. And again, President Stupidface actually showed up. In fact, did you hear him just a few minutes ago? He showed up at the press room. Just kind of walked in there and said, they asked him a couple of questions. And one of the questions was about supporting Israel or something. And I don't know whether you heard on the news, just at 3 o'clock, it's 3:10. So on the 3 o'clock news, a few 10 minutes ago, he said, nobody's done more for Israel than America. Nobody. Jeez, God.
Enthusiasm.
Yeah. And by the way, it's another lie, more gaslighting. What are you talking about? You haven't done squat for Israel. Donald Trump's the one who put the freaking embassy in Jerusalem, for God. I mean, give me a break on that. It's unbelievable.
And then he threw Netanyahu under the bus by saying, I don't know if he's trying to interfere with our election.
Yeah, right. Jeez.
Oh, God.
Oh, the nerve of these people. Anyway, one other newsy thing here. Another federal judge has blocked the student loan program after that was in Missouri, after a Georgia judge let it go forward. As you know, President Crime Family has been he's failed twice now by trying to get student loans forgiven to the tune of billions of dollars. His third proposal, which was allowed by a Georgia judge, said, well, he's going to allow the challenge to it to expire, which meant that the plan would go through. The Georgia judge, let's see, get his name here. U.S. District Judge Randall Hall transferred the litigation from Georgia and said that Georgia wouldn't find any experience of any legal harm under his bailout plan, which is a bunch of crap. What are you talking about? Yeah. Anyway, so another judge said, no, we're going to put the black back on again. So he's lost a third time. He wanted to give out, once again, free $73 billion in student loans, where they would not have to pay it back. And I love this part. The Department of Education, which, by the way, if Trump wins, is gone. One of his first things is going to be eliminate the Department of Education as a member of the cabinet. Anyway, imagine the balls in these people. Department of Education says we're extremely disappointed by the ruling. They're just Republicans just trying to stop constituents from getting breathing room on their student loans. We will not stop trying to fix the broken student loan program and provide support and relief to borrowers across the country. What are you talking about broken? The system's not broken. You take out a student loan, you pay the freaking thing back. What are you talking about? It's not broken. They just don't want to pay back the loan because they got loans out for, gender studies and women's rights in Africa or some crap, after 4 or 6 years in college. It's not broken. Pay the freaking money back like I did and my favorite starter wife did and my kids did and their stepfather did and everything else.
I will say that, first of all, we should not be paying off their loans because plumbers and electricians should not be paying off these spoiled, because these spoiled kids are going to vote for Biden anyway. I don't know why he's trying to buy their votes.
Yeah.
But another thing is, when you and I went to school, that was before the Democrats and the federal government colluded with the major colleges to raise tuition by guaranteeing every single loan.
That's right. That's absolutely correct. And so they just raise the fees. Well, they know they're going to get their money. They don't care who pays them, whether the federal government or the students are going to get their money. So they jack up that's why it costs $90,000 to go to college. Are you kidding me? Jeez. Anyway, 313. All right. Wow. Somebody's messenger. Was that you guys? Oh, no, that was. By the way, I just messaged here. I just posted pictures on my Facebook page. Well, we can't get them on YouTube. YouTube doesn't take photographs. So I couldn't, but Flounder sent me the pictures that they took yesterday of Stacy and Shannon from Nucky's Hoagies, who were here in the studio handing out sandwiches and stuff. And so I posted those on my Kimmer Facebook page, but I can't put them on Facebook because
they're
on YouTube.
They're on the XTRA 106.3 Facebook page as well as our Twitter account.
Okay, so you can go there if you want to see the pictures of the Kimmer and the two babes.
That's right.
Anyway, 313, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let her rip Friday, 404-741-1230. Oh, and Falcons. Holy crap. We're going to talk Falcons here in a minute, too. What a game. Wish I'd seen it. Damn. Anyway.
The left-wing media is pushing counterfeit polls and bogus headlines, all while ignoring the stories that matter most. Trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the real truth without the media spin. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, and the voices you need most are all on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months right here on Extra 106.3.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning wants you to know the start of the new season is the perfect time to ensure your home's comfort for the fall and winter. Don't wait like most people do to have your HVAC system serviced. Your home should have maintenance twice a year. Maintenance helps keep your furnace running at peak efficiency and extends the life of your equipment. Turn to the experts for your system's maintenance at 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house and possibly your family with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speed, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Carrier products, carrier warranty, and carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta Carrier expert since 1947 and one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Tune into your new favorite show that's redefining the A to Z's of marketing, The Marketing Madmen. We'll take you behind the scenes of successful campaigns and reveal the strategies that win. We're not just talking about marketing, we're making it happen. From viral content creation to leveraging AI for customer engagement, our experts bring you to the cutting edge of industry. This is your playbook for market dominance. Tune in and transform your approach with actionable tips that could skyrocket your ROI. The Marketing Madmen every Saturday at 4 p.m. right here on Extra 106.3.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Atlanta? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Atlanta for free. That's right. We'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Atlanta is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Atlanta and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
Oh man, look at my backyard. Looks like a tornado met a hurricane in a desert. I'm going to tell her to turf off. Or maybe you'd rather turf on with ATL Turf Co., the Southeast's leading turf installer. Whether you'd like a new football field, putting green, or have us create the perfect maintenance-free backyard of your dreams, find ATLTurfCo.com. Make your yard great again. Visit ATLTurfCo.com and see what we've created for customers like you in the Southeast. ATLTurfCo.com. And no more yard cackling.
I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but the cold air is coming fast. That means a couple different things to me and you. Energy bills will be rising and company coming over for the holidays. Dan Watkins here with all Four Seasons garage, entry doors, and windows. It's time to get your house ready for the winter air and your holiday visitors. The good news is that we have you covered for every opening in your home. So call us today to set up a free estimate with one of our amazing sales consultants. They'll help you pick out the perfect garage door, front door, and windows for your home.
The Kimmer Show is live until 6 p.m. and Extra 106.3 has the rest of your night covered with Jesse Kelly up next. Fox Across America with Jimmy Fela at 9 p.m. and The Guy Benson Show at midnight. All live on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
I know. This is... I never liked you when they did that kind of stuff. I said, I'm sorry. I know.
Blues?
Yeah, it was not my kind of stuff. It's all right. That's a good come together, baby. The Beatles, 2019 on this day, the Beatles' Abbey Road went back to #1 in Britain 50 years after it topped the album charts. There had been a release of the expanded anniversary edition. It also set the album record, the gap of 49 years and 252 days since its initial chart-topping run ended in early 1970. That 50 years is the longest gap of any record returning to #1, the Beatles and Abbey Road. Yes, sir.
Here's a trivia question from last night.
All right.
Who was John Lennon's second wife?
I used to know this. In fact, I just read her name not long ago in one of the stories about Yoko getting mad about something. I don't know. I think I remember the name. I can't remember. Is that I can't remember. I don't know. You're going to give us an answer, or you're just going to say?
I was just saying, if you'd come back around to it at some point, you've already said it. Yoko Ono was his second
Was that
wife.
second one? I didn't know if that was in that third. I thought he had one in there too. Anyway, see, there you are. So I've once again I've lost the quiz. And by the way, we do have a game for you later on, Pete Davis game, and Flounders Funnies and tweets and all this kind of good stuff. All right, and we have a birthday list as well. Dakota Johnson. That naughty little girl played Anastasia Steele in the 50 Shades of Grey movies. She was also that slutty Stanford co-ed tramp in Social Network. I thought Sean Parker invented Napster. How do you do? Oh my God, I slept with Sean Parker. No, you slept on Sean Parker. Remember that guy? She was. I didn't even know his name. Spent the night with him. Stanford University co-ed. She played the co-ed and had no idea who it was.
Cameron.
Yeah. What?
Cameron, as the late, great Norm Macdonald says, let's just slow down a bit on the slut shaming. The world needs sluts too.
Well, how come I don't have one? I mean, it's not fair. If everybody gets a slut except the Kimmer, I mean, how come, I don't understand. How come no girl ever tries to put something in my drink? I mean, that's just not fair.
Sluts are us. There should be a bar called Sluts Are Us.
Yeah. There will be an entry fee. Oh, Lordy. Anyway, Flounder, there's... I think Flounder's
coming in to say
we just
something.
You could put a little check mark there for something that you just missed when you walked out the door for future promos possible. Anyway, thank you, sir. We have... Sorry, I'm laughing because I have my cut sheet now. We have our audio cut sheet, but it's going to be impossible to separate the things for the thing. That's going to be funny. Coming up in a second. And after our history list, so we don't want to ignore our history list. 1976. It was the night on this day in '76. The $1 Million Celebrity made ABC anchorman Harry Reasoner look like he just smelled a fart. Barbara Walters. On the air, the first female anchor person on a network newscast on this day in 1976. She got $1 million in the contract. The first female co-anchor, and Harry Reasoner hated it. He used to be at CBS. He was doing the, not 60 Minutes. Yeah, 60 Minutes for years and years, and then went over to ABC, and then they made her the co-host, and Reasoner hated it. He said, I don't want a co-host, even though he'd been with a guy co-host in the past. Anyway, he got so ticked off about it that he basically broke his contract and went back to CBS. He was really nasty to her. I mean, there were a lot of stories about that. I mean, he called her names. He talked about her behind her back. Did interviews about how, just didn't want anything to do with her. It was really ugly.
Now we know why.
Well, what do you mean?
After watching her on The View all those years, I wouldn't have put up with her either.
Yeah. She's kind of, Although I remember the one time I think it was the cover of Cosmo. Or it might have been, I think it was cover of Cosmo, some cover magazine, Barbara Walters, back when she was about 50 years old, and she was a knockout, even as a grown woman. I mean, not a 20-year-old, but she was a fully grown woman, and she was very glamorous. I remember it was a big cover photo, and it was a very, not controversial, but very well known and publicized because she was a thing. Anyway, all right. 323. Here we go. One more quick update of a newsy thing. The dock workers' strike is on pause. It's not over. It's on pause. And the members will get a pay wage increase of 62%. They will continue negotiating on the biggest thing, which is automation. They're back under the job under the existing contract. They had been seeking a 77% raise increase. They got 66 and more on pension stuff. So they're going to keep, anyway, they're at least back to work. And like Pete said, isn't it funny that all of a sudden, here we go, right in time for the election. He's got 30 days now, almost. Unbelievable. And let's see, 324. Okay, now to the storm stuff. We got a lot of stuff about this storm stuff, by the way. President Stupidface has just said that the states are very happy with their federal aid for the hurricane storm recovery efforts. Republicans, I think, and most of us and everybody there is saying something totally different from Hurricane Katrina in 2005. This may be a more deadly storm in terms of damage and so forth. The states in the storm zone, President Stupidface was taking a tour, and one reporter said, a journalist asked him, what do the states in the storm zone, what do they need after what you saw today? Quote, in the storm zone, I was wondering what storm you're talking about. They're getting everything they need, and they're very happy across the board. They're getting everything they need, and they're very happy across the board?
Gaslighting.
Jeez, the president said that. Well, yeah, you mean like the $750 if they could ever get some way to cash a check that they ever get after. And again, they still have to file the paperwork. They didn't just get $20 bills and $10 bills making up $750 yesterday. They don't have this. And most of them, well, you know the deal. And then FEMA, of course, says they're running out of hurricane relief funds. They spent $1.4 billion in 2 years housing and food for illegal immigrants. The Department of Homeland Security, $1.4 billion on illegal immigrants. Some reaction, Rich McCormick, among others. Biden didn't know what storm zone reporter was asking about, and then we're very happy. Does anyone think he has the faintest clue about what he was doing, where he went, and how those folks are doing now? Are you kidding me? They're getting everything they need and very happy. Are you nuts?
Jeez.
Unbelievable.
What if Bush had said that after Katrina? 6 days after Katrina, if he said, everything's fine, everybody's happy.
But let's not forget, it took President Crime Family 5 days to make the disaster declaration for North Carolina. 5 days before that was even designated.
And the New York Times, who's finally covering it, is covering it by saying the illegals aren't being taken care of. Well, you know what, illegals? Get in line because Appalachia hasn't been taken care of for 100 years.
The illegals should not be going to the head of the line over American citizens. Are you kidding me?
But see that they're doing that to cover for FEMA because FEMA says the number one thing in disaster relief is to make sure it's equity. So I guess if they show up, there's a car covered in mud and people are dying, but they're white. You go, hold on a second. We don't have our quota of brown people today, so we're going to have to go find a car of muddy people that are brown before we can save you.
Yeah. And by the way, they're even trying to prevent civilians from helping each other. We'll get to that here in just a second. Elon Musk, among others. But remember Juanita Broderick. Juanita Broderick was the woman who was raped by Bill Clinton. And she posted this. So far this year, the United States has given $24 billion to Ukraine, $11 billion to Israel, $2 billion to Ethiopia, $1.6 billion to Jordan, $1.4 billion to Egypt, $1.1 billion to Afghanistan, $1.1 billion to Somalia, $1 billion to Yemen, $980 million to Congo, and about $1 billion to Syria, and $9,000 per each illegal immigrant who has entered the United States. And yet the hurricane victims are getting $750 if they can show the paperwork to be qualified for it. By the way, just, for the
Which a good portion of people are being denied.
Yeah, that's right. It's just only the beginning of the nightmare. Elon Musk's story. A SpaceX engineer just posted this. He's on the ground in North Carolina. FEMA is not merely failing to adequately help people in trouble, but is actively blocking citizens trying to help. Quote, hey, Elon, update here on site of Asheville, North Carolina. We have powered up 2 large operating bases for choppers to deliver goods into hands. We've deployed more than 300 Starlinks, and outpour has saved many lives. The big issue is FEMA is actively blocking shipments and seizing goods and services locally and locking them away to state they are their own. He says it's very real and scary how much they have taken control and stopped people helping out. We're blocked now on the shipments of new Starlinks coming in until we get an escort from the fire department, but that may not be enough. So FEMA... Well, this is what this is actually on the ground. Oh, speaking of FEMA, a flounder, I don't know what number it is. There's that girl in the car, number 2, soundbite number 2. This is incredible. A lady reveals that what she and friends overheard at the airport where she was staying when relief squads were meeting, and here's what they were talking about, the planning from the insiders. Here's what this lady overheard them talk as they were checking among themselves with FEMA.
Picked up a flight of pediatric medical supplies that were brought in and are going to North Asheville. We were sitting in the private portion of the airport, and we got to overhear an awful lot. The Army pilots, the Navy pilots, hospital representatives, there was a lot of chatter. While we were there, a private jet landed and 4 FEMA representatives got off. 4 people off of a private jet. Come to find out, and you're not going to hear this, so let me tell you. Come to find out, Mission Hospital was told, a private hospital, that they are going to go ahead and be the morgue center for body recovery. All of the Army Chinook helicopters you're seeing flying overhead, they are doing body recovery. FEMA said, and you can take this as a direct quote, said that they are too tied up at the border to send any more representatives. Yeah, at the border. So anyhow, I guess border control trumps whatever's going on here. So they told Mission Hospital they are not sending refrigerated trucks so that they can stack the bodies up. And we also overheard that whatever fatality numbers you are hearing, and this is a quote, go ahead and add a couple of zeros. So FEMA's too busy with the border. A private hospital and the Army are going to take over body recovery, and private individuals with their private helicopters and their private planes are the ones who are flying in supplies. I was at Hangar 10. I was picking up supplies. There was a stack for the Cajun Navy. There was a stack that looked like it was ASPCA. These are all being sent by private individuals. FEMA is doing nothing. Go ahead and share that.
Boink. There you go. I mean, here's right there. It's happening. Remember at Maui, the disaster in Maui, the fires and all this? Yeah, they rented out what was it the Ritz-Carlton or the, whatever the fanciest was hotel, they rented all the rooms out for the FEMA people.
Yeah, and gave them only $700, and that's still a fiasco that completely disappeared from the news. Once again, U.S. citizens, FEMA's supposed to be for disasters, not supposed to be facilitating new Democratic voters climbing across our border that are murderers and rapists.
Yeah, and take the money that we're supposed to go for people who need it right now for emergency.
Mayorkas should be not only impeached, he should be in prison, if not worse. This is treason of the worst. First of all, he's incompetent. Second of all, he's treasonous. There's no way FEMA money should have been stolen, and that's what's happened. They've stolen the money.
He misappropriated
and put it into and they're, by the way, as Elon Musk pointed out today on Twitter, they're taking these illegals and they're putting them in swing states because they want to. All they got to do is switch 3 or 4 states and make them Democrat, and it's over.
Yeah.
We're going to be living under Democrats the rest of our lives.
Yeah, and remember the phrase "pathway to citizenship." That's the bottom line for all the reason behind the immigration pathway to citizenship. 3:33 already. Holy cow. Kevin, Pete, and Flounder. Let it rip Friday. How's it going? Join us. What do you got? Here we go.
Latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust. Your best new follow on social media is XTRA 106.3. We're at XTRA 106.3 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events, and so much more. Follow at XTRA 106.3 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Hey, how you doing? That would be we, by the way, the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's 3:34. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. You know, again, I apologize, and please don't hold it against me, but this is a great opportunity and a tragic one, obviously, because of the flooding damage and so forth of what happened here in the South, to remind you that really you need to protect your stuff with a safe. Again, please don't hold it against me that I'm not trying to, take an opportunity for a tragedy, but the fact of the matter is this is exactly why you need a safe. Keeping your stuff safe. Like I found out when I went to Florida, didn't have my Atlanta safe house safes down there, lost my medical records. Boom, bam, it's my fault. I didn't get my VA. Well, whatever. I mean, again, I screwed up. I didn't have my safe down there. And with these people, I'm telling you, anything could happen. Even though if a pipe breaks in your house and you have cardboard boxes with all your medical records and your financial records in the basement, again, simple things. Anything could happen. Plus, burglars, they're not going to haul it off. Hell, on my gun safes, I bolted them from the inside into the concrete floor of my garage and down to the game room in the basement. Atlanta Safe House. And by the way, these, they have a showroom in Ackworth. They love it when you stop by just to say howdy, take a little selfie or something and pass it along to us. Jeff and Mark are really protecting your stuff. Pistol safes and gun safes are always on sale. In fact, I think this is officially Gun Safe Month, if I'm not mistaken. Always on sale. And don't forget, Atlanta Safe House will cover the sales tax. You don't have to pay the sales tax on every safe you buy. Atlanta Safe House will cover the sales tax for you. All the top brands, everything's on sale all over the place. They can design them inside for the nooks and crannies and shelving units any way you want. Please tell them the Kimmer sent you. Say howdy, protecting your stuff. AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand and Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions. Each brand brings savory, sweet deliciousness to every meal. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand and your Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
Doug Moore is a health insurance broker at yourchoicehealthplan.net. He believes your health insurance premiums should not look like a mortgage payment. You don't have to overpay for health insurance. He sells private insurance with no deductibles and no rate increases. These plans are typically 30 to 60% less than what you're paying and don't need to change doctors. He customizes all plans to meet your budget. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. He can save you big money. Call Doug Moore at 770-697-0100. That's 770-697-0100. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. If your payment is too high, you're on COBRA, or your work coverage is too expensive, call Doug, 770-697-0100. You don't have to have government marketplace insurance that's crazy expensive. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net and request a quote. Call 770-697-0100 and let Doug design a plan for you, not by big government.
With the upcoming election, an assassination attempt on President Trump, wars overseas, inflation, and stock market volatility, these are uncertain times. Do you have a plan? Are you prepared today to have a worry-free tomorrow? If you haven't been to True Prep, now is the time. True Prep is locally owned and operated by Joey and Matthew, who are Georgia Tech graduates. Visit True Prep on Cobb Parkway in Marietta or visit online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
XTRA 106.3 listeners are falling in love with Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell.
Me and my wife now find our favorite sandwich place. That food over there was great.
Yeah, those rolls are so soft and sweet. I mean, it was just melt in your mouth. It was, and the steak was tender and juicy and flavorful. I can't say enough about it. It was very, very impressive.
It was so good.
Big Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road, your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner. NuckysHoagies.com.
We're all back to busy schedules this time of year, school, work, everything else that's coming up. Hey, the holidays are around the corner. Don't let car trouble add to the stress of your day. Before you start putting all of those miles on your car, CarShield, America's most trusted vehicle protection company, wants you to consider one of their plans. Now, they provide plans for owners of new cars, high-mileage vehicles, or vehicles with expired manufacturing warranties. A broken AC unit can cost you up to $3,000. A broken water pump, $1,400. Are you prepared to pay out of pocket for repairs in this economy? CarShield doesn't just offer affordable repairs, they also provide jobs for 1,300 Americans. And they're here 24/7, keeping you safe on the road. Call CarShield today. Get your free quote and 20% off at 800-227-6100. As we head into the holiday season, save yourself from major repairs. Get a free quote and save 20% now at carshield.com/Beck. 800-227-6100. 800-227-6100. carshield.com/Beck. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
Election coverage is more than polls and numbers. It's about what matters in your life and your community. And Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station cares about your community, your voice, and most importantly, your vote. So keep it all here for the latest and download the XTRA 106.3 app and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
But don't think I don't think about it.
Look out.
Don't think I don't have regrets.
How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete and Flounder, 3:40 on the clock. With Darius Rucker, Hootie and the Blowfish. On this day in 2008, Darius, the former singer with Hootie and the Blowfish, went to #1 on the country chart with his first country single, Don't Think I Don't Think About It, making him the first black American singer to top the chart in the country chart since 1985, when Ray Charles hit the top spot with Seven Spanish Angels, a duet with Willie Nelson. I don't remember ever hearing that song. You ever heard that song, Pete Davis?
No, never heard any of those songs.
Ray Charles, Seven Spanish Angels with Willie Nelson.
Nope.
Yeah, Flounder, you ever heard that? I've never heard that. I've never heard. And it was the top of the chart in 1985.
Never heard.
I'll be damned. Anyway, let's see. Birthday. Hold on. Phone call. Take priority. 340. It's Adam. You're on the radio, man. How's it going? What do you think?
Hey, guys. Semper Fi. Yeah, I want to talk about the inaction of this awful Harris-Biden regime.
Yeah.
And this awful FEMA reaction. Look, I really don't get mad, but we're spending billions of dollars going over to the Ukraine to that grifter Zelensky in something that'll be maybe a stalemate at best. We're wasting money over there, all this money on illegal aliens, and I can't believe half the country is going to vote for this evil witch of a woman.
And the guy on the ticket with her, I mean, she's a coward. She's afraid to face the public at a podium as a news conference because she knows she's going to be embarrassed, and she's such a coward about that, facing the American people. Who's ever heard of such a thing? And the guy she put on a ticket with her is literally a coward and a chicken and a yellow belly who faked his war record. I mean, the most despicable, disgraceful performance for political expediency you can imagine for a ticket for the White House. I mean, these people are disgusting.
In a normal world, Trump would be up by at least 20 or 25 points, but unfortunately, the society has been dumbed down, and we're going to have potentially a Harris-Biden regime.
Well, and again, the media is... Adam, you're right. This is definitely a nail-biter, according to everything. I'm scared the crap out of me. And against the freaking media keeps saying Donald Trump is a danger to democracy and danger to our country and has to be stopped. And he's going to do all this and do all that. I mean, it's just... that's what's caused it. You know, the cell phone and the mainstream media, all the liberal media, and there's your country. That's 80% of the country's information comes from liberal leftist sources, if not more. Without question.
It's disgusting. I'm really sick to my stomach over all of this.
Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it, man. I'm nervous about it, honestly. I thought I couldn't believe that Biden won the last time, but it all makes sense now when he did because of the DOJ and the lawfare and everything else. So it makes sense.
The stupid schooling and the cheating and all that helps too.
I know. It's brutal. 342. Birthday list. Alicia Silverstone. She was Cher Horowitz on Clueless, George Clooney's Batgirl, He-Man's mom on the Netflix Masters of the Universe, and Alicia Silverstone is 48. The girl who played Supergirl and Marley on Glee, Melissa Benoist, is 36 today. Just record. I saw that Supergirl once, I think. And I thought it was going to be, I thought it was going to be a good show, but I didn't like it. I couldn't.
It's woke. Yeah. It is so woke.
Yeah. I try, and again, not every time, but once in a while when a new show comes up on mainstream media, which I don't watch CBS and NBC. I mean, there's nothing on there that I care about watching because it did get. I remember when The Equalizer. Remember, the movie The Equalizer and Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington. A couple of bizarre, really, hell of a movie. And then they got the series on TV with that fat black chick actress girl.
I can believe that.
Oh God! And all of a sudden now it's nothing but woke. I remember the first episode. Well, she's driving in a car past a high school or something with her mother and her daughter and the mother in the car, and the mother says, someday all those black students are going to be just the same as all the white kids in that school. Or so. I mean, oh my God, jeez, they can't help it, I guess. All right, 344. One quick history note here because I have to continue my whole program here. 1927, sculptor Gutzon Borglum picks up his chisel and begins work on one of the great monuments of all time, Mount Rushmore, the Black Hills of South Dakota. And he did Stone Mountain too, but this is when he started on Mount Rushmore in 1927. And by the way, I'll never forget when I was driving with my starter wife, the one who loved me, going toward California, and we stopped the guy. I said, let's go check this out. And I remember when on the road to go to Mount Rushmore, you can barely, as you're driving to it, you can barely at one point catch a glimpse of it, and then it disappears around a corner. So you start getting excited because you get a little teeny glimpse, and man, once you get where all of a sudden there it is, I mean, it was just astounding. And then when you park and you get up to the overlook where you can look at it, I mean, it just really was remarkable to think about how the hell he did it. Well, hell, it took him 12 years. The four American heroes, well, they were heroes when Barack Hussein Puttitat was president. He praised them. Remember, he praised them on the 4th of July, all these heroes on Mount Rushmore. And then when Donald Trump went to praise them, they were white supremacists. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Lincoln, and Teddy Roosevelt, vicious, hate-filled racist when Donald Trump went to praise them. But they were American heroes, the best there is, when Puttitat did. I mean, these freaking people. Oh, Lord. 3, it's quarter four. A couple other things on this heartbreaking business, and every day it seems to get worse and worse for some reason. Did you hear about the story of a 75-year-old man named Bruce Tipton, a Navy veteran who was clinging to a tree, and he was swept away by the floodwaters from the hurricane after clinging to a tree for 7 hours. The neighbors heard his cries, tried to reach him after his trailer home succumbed to the waters in Marshall, North Carolina. They said the water got so high nobody could get to him before the trailer just broke apart. This old Navy, 75-year-old Navy vet holding onto a tree, screaming and yelling for help for 7 hours. When the trailer broke, his niece said, we thought for sure he was down right then, but 30 minutes later, maybe an hour later, he starts hollering for help again, stayed in that tree, screaming for help for 7 hours, and finally, everything gave way, and he was swept away and killed. I mean, my God. His niece watched it. His little girl niece,
Our president has just told you that everybody's happy and fine and swell and sitting in front of the fire telling stories now.
And by the way, I think you mentioned this yesterday about private helicopters. Greg Biffle, the ex-NASCAR racer, has his own helicopter. He's been doing this all day. In fact, he was flying around, Greg Biffle, the NASCAR guy, ex-NASCAR guy, and he saw a guy getting attention with a mirror. He was holding a mirror and getting the sunlight reflecting on the helicopter's windshield, and that's how Greg Biffle saw him down a mile away and went to rescue him. I mean, what a story. His own personal helicopter, by the way.
And they're putting these helicopters in the smallest clearings. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, in fact, it's a special helicopter made to go in where other helicopters can't. So, but again, life-saving efforts, and it's not the government doing it. All right, 347. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Leonard Friday. Join us. Wait, what's going on? What do you think? Here we go. The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's a camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Another assassin tried to kill the former president. Why 2 attempts in the last couple of months? Well, could it possibly be because of the way Donald Trump's opponents and his media arm are talking about him?
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Braves Country Baseball and Softball Association offers ball players the unique opportunity to learn new skills through official Braves Clinic curriculum while getting closer to their favorite team than ever before. Braves Clinics will consist of nonstop fun with an emphasis on teamwork, attitude, and healthy competition. The unique baseball and softball programs will help players ages 6 to 12 of all abilities develop on and off the field. Visit Braves.com/clinics to see locations and sign up for fall clinics today. Atlanta Braves Baseball. We are Braves Country.
What's up, Atlanta? It's Ben Burnett, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show. Each and every weekend, right here on Extra 106.3, we unpack all the week's events. We talk about all the issues with a local Atlanta-based flavor. You can catch me each and every weekend, Saturdays at 2 and Sundays at noon. If you ever miss an episode, you can go to the podcast park or wherever you download all of your content, and I'll be right there. Thanks for listening to the Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Butler Snow.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Fall is finally here, and with it comes unpredictable storms. Is your home's roof and siding ready to handle the weather? Southern Exteriors is your go-to for reliable roofing and siding solutions. Whether you need a new roof, repairs, or durable siding that stands up to the elements, Southern Exteriors is here to help. Plus, they're offering free estimates, 0% interest, and no payments for up to 6 months. So you can get the peace of mind you need before the storm hits. Call Southern Exteriors today, 877-9-SOUTHERN, or visit southernexteriors.co. Quality and precision you can rely on.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is always streaming live across Georgia on the Extra 106.3 app. Get the live stream and your favorite Extra podcast anywhere you go. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now for Apple or Android.
Who doesn't know this song, and what kid with a guitar didn't play this the first time out? Learning how to strum that sucker. The Stones. It's almost Halloween. I see your little pumpkin sign here. Holy smokes. The stores are hell. We got our guys here. Is it Mike or Matt or Scott or Steve? One of those guys.
Scott.
They have all our Halloween decorations and witches and pumpkins and God.
It gets very festive here during the holidays.
Yeah, they don't mess around, that's for sure. Yeah, on this day in 2007, the Rolling Stones set a new record for the top grossing tour of all time. It was a Bigger Bang tour. The tour ran from late 2005 to August 2007, and it earned them about $500 million. The Stones played to 3.5 million people, 113 shows, almost $500 million, $500 million. The previous high was set by U2 Vertigo Tour. Took place in 05 and 06 and got them about $400 million. Good grief. Jeez. Where did I go wrong? 352. We got a Flounders Funny coming up here in a second. Our birthday list includes... Oh, Pete, I'm so sorry. Our birthday list includes... Liev Schreiber, ladies and gentlemen. Liev Schreiber, the actor. He's 57 today. Ray Donovan, the actor Ray Donovan, and so many other things.
It's not his fault.
No, he's he apparently was trying to seduce Pete's girlfriend. There was kind of a thing there. So
no. The story was that she was complaining that she had just moved here from New York City and she missed walking to the movie theater and having dinner and being able to walk everywhere, blah, blah. So I set out the perfect evening where, Garden Hills is not there anymore. Yeah. You eat at Fellini's Pizza, you walk down the street to the Garden Hills Cinema and watch a movie about penguins and all that stuff. It was a totally romantic, beautiful night. Yeah. And right as we're eating dinner, she decides to point out that she kissed Liev Schreiber on the set of some TV movie or something like that, and she was making out with him. Yeah. And I'm like, why the blank?
Yeah, would
you tell me that story?
Yeah. Well, it chicked, man. It's like, I swear to God, it was a girl once I was doing a little something that was really spectacular, and she said, "Oh, God, I love it when guys do that." Oh, you love it when guys do that?
I've had that done to me once.
That's really fun. Golly, guess who's not going to do it anymore? Jeez.
Well, at the time, it was kind of a turn on. Yeah. And then later on, you're sitting there thinking,
where the hell? It's like the Hawk Tua girl. I mean, how many people know about this, I mean, geez, golly. Anyway, 354. And on this day in history, let's continue the trend here. 1954, one beating is all it took for Marilyn Monroe to announce her intention to file for divorce from Joe DiMaggio. He thought, of course, she was going to be a nice stay-at-home mom, get him dinner ready every night and stuff like that. That turned out to be not close. And then when she was doing that promo shoot with the skirt flying over the hot vent underneath in the subway, whatever it was, and her legs showing up for the movie thing.
7-year
itch. And I think he was there at the time watching it, if I'm not mistaken. And when they got home, he beat her up. He started hitting her, complaining about her, and called her all kinds of names. And he just, he wanted a stay-at-home wife to take care of his needs, and that was it. When he knocked her around, and she said that was it. That was a ball game, 1954, Marilyn Monroe. 355, Camera Pete and Flounder. And what's got in? Let's do, I got to find my new cut sheet here. Sorry, Flounder. Got to put it in another pile of things here. We're going to do number 3, cut number 3 here. Chris Cuomo. The other day, Chris Cuomo came out with some real critical stuff about the Democrat Party. Well, he's come out with criticisms of America's socialist Democrats again, wondering why the liberal media is not covering a story that would be never-ending if it were about Donald Trump. Chris Cuomo here with some guests talking about the vice president and the issues of the news coverage. Flounder, if you would, sir.
All right, now, this story that I want to talk about with Bill O'Reilly and Stephen A. Smith, I'm doing for one reason. If the name were Trump instead of Emhoff in this story, it would be all over the news right now. And yeah, Trump's running for president and Emhoff is married to the woman who's running for president. But still, Daily Mail, echoed by the New York Post, has a story. And I know, Post, Daily Mail, but just listen. Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, accused of striking a woman he was on a date with at the Cannes Film Festival back in 2012. They say they have 3 friends of the woman who talked to them about this, that she had told them this afterwards. One is a male, at least one of them is a female. The guy says that she called him from the car with Doug, that maybe they had been drinking, and he didn't like how she talked to the valet to get to the front of the line. He smacked her, she smacked him back. That's basically the story. I have the reporter from the Daily Mail who broke it, Josh Boswell. Josh, thank you for joining me, Bill O'Reilly, and Stephen A. Smith. Now, Josh, what did you believe the right standard was here? How credible do you believe this story is?
I think it's very credible, otherwise we wouldn't have published it. You do not get, as you were just saying, very often people coming forward named. And the reason is they're worried about retaliation. These are very powerful people we're talking about. But what we have here is 3 friends all saying they were told the same thing, 2 of them contemporaneously. This woman, Jane, we're calling her, she called one of the friends immediately after the incident. That's what this friend told me.
And again, if it had been Donald Trump or J.D. Vance, I mean, again.
That's all we'd hear about.
Yeah, oh, my God. It would be never ending. 3:57, Kimmer Pete and for Nucky's Hoagies. How about a little Flounders Funny here? What do you got?
The only time that I get confrontational in public is in security at the airport. And recently, I had a guy, just another passenger in line, said to me, just leave them alone. It's not their fault. They're doing their job. It is 100% their fault. No one made them work there. They deliberately chose a job that allowed them to go through other people's stuff. Hard to root for that guy. And every time they shove my carry-on back to me, they always say, "You're good to go." And I always say, "I know." I knew that before you did. I didn't even have 2 weeks of training. Ouch. Kind of seems like I'm one Cub Scout uniform away from being your boss.
That's pretty amusing. Who's that there, Flounder?
Mr. Kellen Erskine.
Erskine, I'll be darned. Well, he's a fairly amusing fellow. 3:58. We got more politics coming up for you after the top of the news hour covered. And again, if you just joined us, President Stupidface actually had the balls today to come out and say that, boy, those states, they're getting everything they need. Everything they need for that hurricane damage they're getting, and they all love it. They're all thanking us like crazy. So we know that's more lies. Floyd County here in Georgia will be talking about adding dogs to the public schools to detect firearms and vaping. Now, by vaping, do they mean nicotine vaping or marijuana vaping?
I assume nicotine vaping.
Vaping means cigarettes. I mean, it means nicotine, right? Not talking about weed.
I wouldn't think so. I don't know that for certain.
I don't know. Anyway, they're going to have dogs in Floyd County school safety program to detect firearms, and they said they can detect weapons better than a metal detector. And they will also try to detect whether kids have vaping pens or vaping. What do they call? I don't know what they're called. Vapors, vapes. What do they call them? Those stick things.
Vape pens.
Vape pens? I want to go back. I want to fire up a Lucky Strike. I just every once in a while I say, man, I want to have a Lucky Strike and just open up the pack and tamp it down like I used to do, and then fire up that baby. Oh man, I just used to love to smoke those Luckies.
You know they pack the cigarettes at the factory.
I know, but I do it better than they do. I do better than they do. All right, 4 o'clock already. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let her rip Friday, 404-741-1230. Give us a ring if you feel like it, because what are you doing in Vistead is all I got. 4 o'clock there.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
President Biden has some doubts about the upcoming election. Lisa Brady, Fox News, taking questions from reporters. He says he's concerned about election-related violence.
The president has no concern the presidential vote will be free and fair, but
I don't know whether it will be peaceful. The things that Trump has said and the things that he said last time out when he didn't like the outcome of the election were very dangerous.
President Biden says he is concerned former President Trump and his running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, won't accept the results. Speaking from the White House briefing room for the first time in his presidency, President Biden also said he was not sure if Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was holding up a ceasefire deal to influence the presidential election.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. The former president is in Georgia alongside Republican Governor Brian Kemp moments ago, 4 years after they had a falling out over 2020 election results. Today, focusing on hurricane recovery efforts.
Our hearts break for the more than 200 American families who have lost their lives already.
The former president noting the hundreds that remain missing. He heads next to hard-hit North Carolina for a first-hand look at the devastation there. Vice President Kamala Harris visits North Carolina tomorrow. Today, holding a rally in Michigan.
I will always put the middle class and working families first. I come from the middle class, and I will never forget where I come from. I will never forget where I come from.
She says Trump's record is a disaster for working people and calls him an existential threat to the labor movement. President Biden says today's jobs report is proof his agenda is working. 254,000 jobs created in September. The unemployment rate dipping to 4.1%. And the street rallies, the Dow up 341 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
Madam Giselle senses something in your future.
Is my boyfriend going to propose?
It's a big storm.
Wait, we're going to get in a fight?
No, a literal storm. Wind, heavy wind. I see a tree falling on your RV.
Oh, that's fine. I'm covered by Progressive. So, is my boyfriend there? Maybe on one knee?
The entire roof is crushed.
So, no ring.
Be prepared for the unexpected with Progressive, a leader in RV insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Product features subject to policy terms and may not be available in all states or for all vehicles and covered selections.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine.
Not fun.
Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
That's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis and Flounder, 403. Usher Friday, let her rip, anything goes. 404-741-1230. Jimi Hendrix. 1999, it was reported that the sister, Jimi Hendrix's sister, was planning to exhume his body and move it to a pay-to-view mausoleum. Other plans for the
like Lenin.
Yeah. Other plans for the new pay-per-view mausoleum site included a chance for the fans to buy one of the burial plots around his final resting place. Jeez. Making money off the dead guy, all right. And our birthday list includes Christoph Waltz. He's a really good actor, 68 years old. The bad guy in the James Bond movie Spectre. He won Best Supporting Actor Oscars as the SS officer Hans Landa in Inglourious Bastards, and the bounty hunter King Schultz in Django Unchained. Hell of an actor, Christoph Waltz, pronounced her. And let's see, I forget the history thing. I'll actually do a little something here if I can. Oh, I remember this too, and I love this song too. 1986, CBS Evening News anchor Dan Rather was attacked on the street and beaten up by a guy who kept yelling, "Kenneth, what's a frequency? What's a frequency?" The same guy shot and killed an NBC technician in 1994. That was 6 years later. Well, REM took the title for their 94 hit, "What's the Frequency, Kenneth?" from that attack, and Dan Rather even performed it with them once for David Letterman. What's the Frequency, Kenneth? Yeah, and I remember, that's a good song. I like that. I used to like that song. Our 4 o'clock hour, what, I'm sorry?
My shirt.
Oh, wait, I can't see it. Is that David Letterman's shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, outstanding. Very nice. Our 4 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends at the Atlanta Safe House, home of the Kimmer Safes. Yeah, you need a safe, silly rabbit. Don't be like the Kimmer. Didn't have one in Florida. Lost my stuff. Boom, bam, pow. They have a showroom in Ackworth and on the web. Check it out. Always on sale. And no sales tax. No sales tax for the rest of the year. AtlantaSafehouse.com. Oh, check this out. Just in... come on, stupid. Oh, New York Post. Here's the way they write the story, too. The headliner of a heavy metal music festival in Florida and 7 other bands have dropped out of the show to protest that acquitted Kenosha killer Kyle Rittenhouse would be on the bill as a special guest. Rockers Evergreen Terrace pulled out of Shell Shock in Orlando, saying it refuses to align with an event promoting murderers, prompting the festival's founder to slam them as woke phonies. The musicians backed out after the festival announced that Rittenhouse, quote, who gunned down 2 protesters at a violent racial justice demonstration in Kenosha in 2020, would make a special guest appearance October 19th. What do you mean he gunned down 2 protesters? They were trying to kill him. God, you freaking people.
Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. Did exactly the right thing. So they say, we will not align with an event promoting murderers such as Kyle Rittenhouse capitalizing off their pseudo-celebrity. Even after they offered to pull Kyle from the event, we discovered several associated entities that we simply do not agree with. Well, fine, then go to hell. I don't know what the hell Kyle Rittenhouse will be doing as a special guest. 7 other bands withdrew. Stand up
control.
Stand up for what you believe. The most punk thing you can do is stay on a bill everybody hates. Raising money to the festival raises money to help veterans with PTSD, and will now feature a Slipknot cover band as the headliner. It was not immediately clear what Rittenhouse's role as special guest at the festival will be. Well, that's what I was trying to find out, and we don't know. Anyway, Kyle Rittenhouse, kind of an update there. Okay, all right, hold on. We got more kind of political stuff here. 407-404-741-1230 is our number if you'd like to join us. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. A Texas baker has been asking for it, and she's getting the reaction that she expected when she started selling cookies with the face of Tim Walz on them. False Walz, the chicken-livered, yellow-bellied coward, the phony veteran warrior, the vice presidential candidate for the Dems. The Hive in Flower Mound, Texas, has a woman named Haley Pop, and she's been running the thing for several years, and she received messages from slamming her physical appearance to hoping that her bakery and all the gay people will burn. She says, this business is an extension of who I am, and I don't think I should have to be quiet. I built this platform. Why shouldn't I use it? She has boxes of cookies with Carmela side pieces face on them, themed around the Charlie XCX Kamala is Brat phenomenon. When they go weird, we go waltz. She claims to have been threatened every which way, from being yelled at on the phone and online, letters put together by using magazine cutouts threatening her in the mail. It's never hurt her business to lean into politics. It's kept only a resolve to speak out for what she believes in. And that's
good for her.
Yeah, exactly. She's doing what she believes, and that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah. Exactly. And if they're yelling at her because of it, then she expected it, and there you go. Now, obviously, you shouldn't hurt her, but still, if you want to react to it, that's your right. You should.
She's putting her money where her mouth is, and she's going to lose business, and that's what she believes. That's what America's supposed to be.
Yeah. Or maybe she believes that it's worth whatever. If she loses, or maybe she'll gain business. I mean, again, she's doing it on purpose, out loud, right up front. There's no shenanigans going on, and by God, that's what makes America great.
I'd rather know what the company believes than not know and give them money for something I don't like.
Absolutely. And plus, she knew exactly what the reaction was. She's in Texas. So, in Ohio, a bakery in Cincinnati has never been wrong, maybe once in 40 years, predicting the results of the presidential race by selling cookies with both candidates' faces on them, and a third candidate cookie as well. And this place in Cincinnati, they could be good news because they have sold 3,000 Donald Trump cookies and 2,000 Carmela side piece cookies. And let's see, in Pennsylvania, this is a little more. This might be a really good sign. A bakery using cookies to predict the winner. As of this morning, the small business in Hallboro, Locals Bakery in Pennsylvania, Hallboro, Pennsylvania, the small business has sold 5,000 Trump cookies and 500 Harris cookies, 5 president cookies.
Her cookies are strange. They got a lot of extra frosting on it. It's really weird. Icing.
Yeah.
They're glazed. They look glazed.
They're sort of glazed, yes. 410, give her Pete and Flounder. If maybe it's possible. We're going to play another soundbite here, Flounder. This will be number 1. It may be possible that some of the conservative support is trickling out of the Hollywood elite pool. America may be getting a better picture of what Carmela's side piece actually stands for, what she would do if she and the yellow-bellied win. Even Bill Murray now says a vote for Donald Trump is a vote to drain the swamp.
He's just such a different character than anyone that's ever been a president of the United States, I think. I think this is what this vote means, is that the country is dissatisfied with the way that Washington has worked for the last couple of decades. They're lazy, and they're about They're about inhibiting the other side. They're not about working together at all. And it's sort of become such a national disgrace, a quiet national disgrace.
Yeah. Well, welcome to MAGA country, Bill Murray. I mean, this came out of nowhere.
It's the truth, though.
Yeah.
If he's just being, middle of the road, that's what it is. People are upset with Washington, D.C. That's why they're voting for Trump.
Yeah. In fact, another story just broke this afternoon. Special counsel Jack Smith and his business, where he had, another October surprise I think they thought would have more effect. When Jack Smith got that federal judge yesterday to release that whole bunch of stuff, rehashing once again the Donald Trump and the stuff that he was being charged for that he's gotten away with so far, the Jack Smith business. Well, even a CNN senior legal analyst, Ellie Honig, has said that Jack Smith's October cheap shot is very clearly aimed at just getting Donald Trump. The brief that he had that judge release was 180 pages, 400% longer than a normal maximum that the judge would allow to be happening. This woman says that she doesn't care about the upcoming election. The larger obvious headline is that Smith has essentially abandoned any pretense. He'll bend any rule, switch up on any practice to get to chip away at Trump's electoral prospects. There's simply no defending Jack Smith's conduct of any sort, of any principled or institutional basis. Smith's unprincipled, norm-breaking practice is neither a response nor an excuse to suggestions that voters should have the utmost information about presidential candidates before they cast their ballot. Smith turned these rules on their head, asking to file without a pending defense motion. The team objected. The judge acknowledged that his request was a first, very irregular, and let it happen anyway. And again, this CNN legal analyst is saying this Jack Smith thing is all a ploy to go get Donald Trump, which we all knew, and now he's doing it again with the help of the federal courts. God, they just can't stop. 4:13. We got. Oh, by the way, we'll also have the latest on J.D. Vance doing his Jim from the Office face. Have you heard about that? It's going pretty popular. 4:13. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder right here. Look out.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
In a previous commentary, I told you about the Social Security Trust Fund. It does not exist. It's a stack of IOUs. In other words, the government, starting with Democrats in the 1960s, just started taking the Social Security contributions and spending them on vote-buying programs. So the money's gone. I also told you that Galveston, Texas, and some other government entities opted out of Social Security for their employees. Now I want to tell you how their employees did over about 40 years. First of all, under the Galveston plan, the employee owns his account. It becomes part of his estate if he dies. Social Security, you die, you lose. Let's get to your monthly benefits. These figures are quite old and are higher now, but middle-income worker would get about $1,007 a month under Social Security. Under the alternate plan, $1,826 a month. Middle-income worker, $1,500 under Social Security, $3,600 from the Galveston plan. High-income worker, $2,500 a month under Social Security, $5,000 to $6,000 a month from the alternate plan. As I said, these figures are 40 years old, much higher now. Now, most Galveston retirees make twice as much under the Galveston plan as they would under Social Security. Hey, what about that death benefit when you go Tango uniform? Social Security, you get $255. Galveston plan, you get 4 times your annual income as a death benefit, up to $250,000. The Galveston County workers love it. Less than 1% of those workers say, oh, no, not me. I'm going to stick with Social Security. What was the federal government's reaction to this? This is too good. This is a threat to our Social Security system. So they passed a law making it illegal to opt out of Social Security. You can't go embarrassing the government like that. Wonder why the mainstream media doesn't tell you much about this. Neil Bortz, XTRA 106.3.
Hey, it's Megan Poole with Southern Exteriors, and it's fall, y'all, and those leaves are starting to drop. Now it's time to get your home ready with Southern Exteriors. Whether it's cleaning out your gutters, adding gutter covers, or both, Southern Exteriors has got you covered. Plus, with any gutter cleaning job, you'll get a free roof inspection, so don't wait. Call Southern Exteriors today at 877-9-SOUTHERN or visit southernexteriors.co. Southern Exteriors, quality and precision you can rely on.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, CPAPSETC.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on this station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to firstlibertyga.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to firstlibertyga.com. That's firstlibertyga.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
Got a pinkster. Floyd Rooney. Man. Oh my God, wait a minute now. Hold on.
I don't think that's me.
It's just who are you playing there, Flounder? Is this Pink Floyd?
Sorry, I meant to highlight Tammy Wynette. Tammy Wynette is right before.
I was going to say, if he's doing Tammy Floyd impersonation, he's doing a great job. 1978. Well, every time I do, I'm always wrong. So I said, well, maybe I just didn't recognize it. It could have been a new sound, you know. I don't know. I hate making mistakes, so I always check with you guys. Tammy Wynette, on this day, 1978, was abducted and beaten and held in her car for 2 hours by a kidnapper wearing a ski mask. He held a gun on her, forced her to drive 90 miles from Nashville, Tennessee. She was later released, and the kidnapper got away. And I remember that story. And I remember it was the weirdest damn thing because there was no. It was a fan.
It was
a
George.
Weird guy. I don't know. George Jones probably. It was George. It was George. They had a little spat. 419. Our birthday listing includes that naughty little Susan Sarandon. 78 years old. Janet in the Rocky Horror Picture Show. She was also in Thelma and Louise.
Damn it, Janet.
Thelma and Louise, Bull Durham, and the Witches of Eastwick. That was a pretty interesting movie, by the way, Witches of Eastwick. Susan Sarandon, 78 years old today. And let's see. We got a little history thing here I got to use. In fact, this is one of the times when I use both my typewriter, my IBM Selectric Wheelwriter 2, and Mr. Phone to do my double Cowabunga here, and my personal handwriting, too. So I got my pen, and I got my typewriter, and I got my phone. On this day in 1957, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Sputnik. The Soviet Union enters and inaugurates the space age. The launch of Sputnik, the world's first artificial satellite in 1957, was named after the Russian word for fellow traveler, launched in the Kazakh Republic. Diameter 22 inches, weighed 184 pounds. It circled Earth once every hour and 36 minutes, traveling at 18,000 miles an hour. The elliptical orbit had an apogee, the farthest point from Earth, of 584 miles. The nearest point was 143 miles. Visible with binoculars before sunrise or after sunset. Transmitted radio signals back to Earth strong enough to be picked up by amateur radio operators. I remember my father had built amateur radio sets and used to communicate with people all over the world with his short waves and radio sets and so forth, and we could hear ding, 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 those signals. Picked up in the United States with such equipment, tuned in, listened in awe as the beeping Soviet spacecraft passed over America several times. In January 1958, Sputnik's orbit deteriorated as expected, and the spacecraft burned up in the atmosphere. 1957, the beginning of the space race, and it was the Soviets who did it. Yes, sir.
I read something the other day that's where the word beatnik came from. It was the Beat generation with Sputnik, and they called them beatniks because of that.
I would not be surprised. Would not be surprised. 23 Skidoo. And Dobie Gillis and Maynard G. Krebs. 422, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Our number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. In case you missed it, Donald Trump has responded to his wife, Melania, the former First Lady's comments in her interview she did concerning abortion. Social media, of course, is criticizing Donald Trump, even though he's said all the right things. He's put everything in public right out in front of everybody, and it should be very, very easy to understand this. On the other hand, they're still nailing him, including our old friend Jamel Hill, that pie-faced, pumpkin-faced snot, formerly from ESPN.
I have her photo right here.
Yeah, there she is. Carve her up for Halloween. Donald Trump addressed Melania's pro-choice stance on abortion. Donald Trump told his wife, he said, "I'm not going to tell you what to do." And that comment from people like Jamel Hill, the so-called journalist, says, "Oh, so Melania gets to choose, but not millions of other women. I get it." You freaking lying skank. Restricting a woman's right to choose whether to terminate an unwanted pregnancy is the same as denying her control over her own body, which is a belief she's held throughout my entire life, says Melania Trump. So women should have a right to terminate an unwanted pregnancy. And Donald Trump has said, well, you know what? Individual states ought to control this. And, of course, they say, well, you got Roe versus Wade. He didn't do it. The Supreme Court did it because it was the right decision to make. The law never should have been put in place in the first place. Anyway, so whether or not you agree with it or not, the fact of the matter is you can still get an abortion. You can get all the abortions you want. You might have to drive a couple of 100 miles to another state if you're past the... Yeah, I know. That's not really...
Inconvenient.
I know. It's just not fair to have to take a car trip for 3 hours.
It's also inconvenient to get the implant or take the pill or the morning after pill, get a diaphragm, or make him wear something or abstain. It's so inconvenient to do all those things.
Yeah, or do it the other ways. Anyway, whatever. Donald Trump says...
Elaborate.
The fun ways. Donald Trump says, we spoke about it, and you have to write what you believe, honey. I'm not going to tell you what to do. You have to write what you believe. She's very beloved. People love our former First Lady. I can tell you that. But I said, you have to stick with your heart. I've said that to everybody. You have to go with your heart. Donald Trump is saying and doing all the right things, and it doesn't make any freaking difference. 425. Garth Brooks responds to the rape charge here in just a second. I got that. First, one more kind of political funny thing, and I did notice this during the debate with J.D. Vance and False Walsh, the phony chicken-livered, yellow-bellied coward, phony warrior. J.D. Vance was caught many times on camera during the debate, what they called doing side-eyeing the CBS News camera when False Walsh was answering questions from the moderators this past Tuesday. The mugging reminded people on social media of Jim Halpert, the character from the hit show Jim at the Office, who would routinely acknowledge ridiculousness on the show, that they would have him going, smirking into the camera. And it was, kind of making a face whenever the office manager, what's his name? Oh, God, I hate when I do this. How can I not remember? I know it. It won't come on. Hold on. Michael. Michael Scott. I got it. Michael Scott, thank you. Anyway, so when Michael would do something stupid, Jim would do that funny, goofy face look, and that's what J.D. Vance was doing during the debate whenever False Waltz was making stupid comments. But the fact of the matter is, they asked him about it, and he said, well, this has kind of gone viral on me doing Jim from The Office thing, looking into the camera, but he said it's because I wish I could take credit for it, but it's really because I guess the timer is right by the camera. I was trying to pay attention to what Waltz is saying, but then you have to be ready for when his time is up, because then it's your turn to speak, and that's where the timer was, so I was looking at the timer. It spawned a million viral memes, so I'm glad they kind of did it like that. Social media's claim that Vance kept breaking the fourth wall by shifting his attention toward the camera. I guess some of these people, the fourth wall, the first I've heard of it, J.D. Vance keeps breaking the fourth wall. Very Jim Halpert. He's appealing to millennial women, posted an ex-user Brittany Martinez, one who took note of the side eye. My God. I mean, honestly, this. I
hate these people. They're not my fellow Americans. I hate them. I disavow them.
It's this thing. It's the freaking
Stupidity.
cell phone. It's all of a sudden worldwide. It's an immediate, instant need to tell people how you're feeling about anything in the world at any given second. And that's why all this stuff is out there. It's getting worse and worse. 427. Okay, Garth Brooks has responded a little bit, at least, in the case of the woman who is going by Jane Doe, I guess it is. Jane Roe, I think they're calling her. And she has filed a lawsuit. And she claims that Garth Brooks raped her in a hotel room during a work trip where she was trapped alone with him. She accused Garth Brooks of repeatedly exposing his frickers, talking about sex, sharing sexual fantasies with her, regularly changing his clothes in front of her, sending her sexually explicit text messages. And as I recall in the story we did yesterday, she also claims that Garth Brooks wanted to do a three-way with Trisha Yearwood, his wife, which I really find hard to believe. I mean, I'm sorry, but...
Wouldn't that be a four-way?
That would be a four-way. But anyway, this girl says she was hired as a hair and makeup girl for wife Trisha Yearwood in 1999, then moved on to Brooks' team later. She said he raped her in a hotel room and traveled by private jet to his Grammy taping in 2019. He showed up in the bedroom completely naked. She felt trapped. Brooks claims that now Garth Brooks says, now wait a minute, her attorney sent Garth Brooks a confidential demand letter alleging sexual misconduct after Garth Brooks declined her request for salaried employment and medical benefits. The girl's attorneys believe the preemptive complaint was an act of desperation to intimidate and silence the woman. Garth Brooks says he filed the anonymous complaint a month ago for the sake of families on both sides to speak out against extortion and defamation of character. Quote, for the last 2 months, I've been hassled to no end with threats and lies and tragic tales of what my future would be if I did not write a check for many millions of dollars. It's been like having a loaded gun waved in my face, says Garth Brooks. Hush money, no matter how much or how little, is still hush money in my mind, and that means I'm admitting to behavior I am incapable of. Ugly acts no human should ever do to another. And Garth Brooks says his good deeds going forward will continue, but his heart breaks that his integrity is being questioned.
All he said was speak directly into the microphone.
Exactly.
That's all he...
I mean, rape is pretty serious. You know, undressing and fondling or doing talking sex is one thing, but rape? I mean, and again, I don't. This has got to be a he said, she said. There are no other witnesses. Yep. So here we go, Garth Brooks, and that she said he wanted to do a threesome with Trisha Yearwood. That just to me sent it over the top. A foursome or a four-way, a moresome. 4:30. Timber Pete Flounder coming up on 106.3. How's your Friday? Look out. The legend Neil Bortz is only on Extra 106.3. Hey, it's a camera. How's it going? Here's what you missed from the Talkmaster.
Another assassin tried to kill the former president. Why 2 attempts in the last couple of months? Well, could it possibly be because of the way Donald Trump's opponents and his media arm are talking about him?
Catch Neil's commentary every day on Extra 106.3 or listen anytime on the Extra 106.3 app.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2023 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience and Georgia's only 9-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
Doug Moore is a health insurance broker at yourchoicehealthplan.net. He believes your health insurance premiums should not look like a mortgage payment. You don't have to overpay for health insurance. He sells private insurance with no deductibles and no rate increases. These plans are typically 30 to 60% less than what you're paying and don't need to change doctors. He customizes all plans to meet your budget. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. He can save you big money. Call Doug Moore at 770-697-0100. That's 770-697-0100. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net. If your payment is too high, you're on COBRA, or your work coverage is too expensive, call Doug, 770-697-0100. You don't have to have government marketplace insurance that's crazy expensive. Don't fret. Go to yourchoicehealthplan.net and request a quote. Call 770-697-0100 and let Doug design a plan for you, not by big government.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Real Success. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at ourrealsuccess.com.
Do you want to learn how to make money flipping houses and acquiring rental properties right here in Atlanta? We're offering a handful of motivated individuals the opportunity to attend our workshop right here in Atlanta for free. That's right. We'll give you 2 free tickets when you text FREE to 64,000. Atlanta is the perfect market to flip houses and build rental income. Discover the simple steps developed by Joe Arias, one of real estate's greatest rags to riches stories. You'll learn to flip properties and secure rental properties without using your own money and in your spare time. Don't miss this opportunity. Come to a complimentary live 2-hour workshop next week right here in Atlanta and learn how to start making money flipping homes and building long-term wealth with rental properties. To get 2 free tickets, text FREE to 64,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and registrants will also receive a free copy of our Funding for Deals guide. Text FREE to 64,000 for 2 complimentary tickets. Text FREE to 64,000.
Hi, this is Ben.
And I'm Walt from Horizon Background Screening.
I would say anyone who's working in any industry could use our services.
A couple of the clients that people tend to not even think about are churches, volunteer organizations. We do a lot of background checks for referee associations. Anybody who's going to be around kids or older adults or anybody vulnerable, you really need to do a background check that includes a criminal history, a sex offender registry search, and anything else that's really relevant to your organization, just to make sure that the people who you're putting in touch with, kids and other vulnerable people, are who you think they are, and that you're not putting your clientele at risk.
So we're going to help you reduce your risk. We're going to help you hire the right person on the front end so that you don't spend all this time with training and all those kind of things and then realize that wasn't a good hire.
The best way for people to find us is on our website. A quick Google search of Horizon Background Screening or look at us at horizonscreening.com.
Millions
of guys suffer from erectile dysfunction. That's 1 in 4 men. And I can tell you, I'm one of them.
If you or someone you know suffer from ED, Peyronie's disease, or PE, here's 38-year emergency room doctor and founder of Total Body Therapy of Georgia, Dr. Eric Deal.
Patients who enter my office are often frustrated, hopeless, depressed, and embarrassed. I understand the problem, and I'm going to help you fix it. There are lots of competitors that don't have the credentials that I have. When you go to other clinics, you're not going to see a board-certified physician with the experience that I have. When you come to our clinic, you're going to see me. There's just not one therapy that can solve these complex issues. I'll do a complete history and physical prior to any treatment that we use. Take it from me, Dr. Deal. When it's not hard, it's really hard.
Call Dr. Deal for your free one-on-one evaluation and resolve your ED, Peyronie's, or PE issues. Total Body Therapy of Georgia, 404-777-1911, 404-777-1911, online at stopmyed.com.
The Morning Extra. Glenn Beck, Clay and Buck, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, Jimmy Fallon, and Guy Benson. The biggest lineup of conservative voices in the South are on Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra 106.3 app.
And that would be we. 436. How you doing? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. But Pete Davidson, Fall Under, and Pink Floyd.
Tammy Wynette.
Oh, it's Tammy Wynette. I'm sorry. Very funny. The Pinkster, 1975. Pink Floyd went to #1 in Britain with Wish You Were Here. Featured a tribute to ex-band member Syd Barrett. Shine On You Crazy Diamond. Also #1 in America. For one of the shots on the album's cover, 2 stuntmen were used. Danny Rogers and Ronnie Rondell, dressed in a fire-retardant suit, covered by a business suit. Initially, the wind was blowing in the wrong direction, and the flames, they set him on fire, were forced into Rondell's face, burning his mustache. The 2 stuntmen changed positions, and the image was later reversed. Well, okay, set yourself on fire for album cover, fine by me. Our birthday list includes Roy Blount Jr. Roy Blount Jr. is 83 years old. He's written 24 books.
Wow. Sports Illustrated, one of the great writers.
He was, in fact, Roy Blount was an English teacher in Atlanta in the 60s, and he went to Sports Illustrated in 1968. And then left them, went on to, and then he started publishing in all kinds of periods. He was everywhere. He was, and all those books. Roy Blount Jr. is 83 years old. Quite a guy. On this day in history, Leave It to Beaver premiered on CBS TV in 1957. Leave It to Beaver. And on this day in 1990, Beverly Hills 90210 on Fox ran for 10 years and did a remake. R.I.P. Luke Perry. Left us not that long ago. It's 4:32 with the Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And see, we got all these memes, and we got these tweets, and we got Pete, and we put it together for a little thing we call Pete's Tweets.
Missy tweets, when it comes time to pay our taxes, let's all send the IRS $750 and tell them it's all we have. Seems fair.
Yeah, but first you have to fill out a form to get it.
Yeah. It's Not the Bee posted this meme, a couple standing in front of a flooded house. It's a commercial for the TV show House Hunters. It reads, wife, lost house to Helene. Husband, lost house to Helene. Budget, $750.
Jeez.
Sign on the Wyoming border entering Colorado reads, Venezuela ahead, be prepared.
Yeah, America's Whale. Yeah.
In January of 2019, Meathead Rob Reiner tweeted, tonight the media will turn the oldest living democracy into a reality show by allowing a pathological liar to treat American citizens like suckers. There is no crisis at the border.
Oh my God.
Fast forward to this year when Rob Reiner tweets, it's simple. Donald Trump and the House Republicans don't give a flying F about fixing our border problems. James Woods tweets, slugger Doug Emhoff lecturing Americans on misogyny the exact moment the press breaks the story of his beating up a woman. Same guy who impregnated his nanny while he was married and made her get an abortion. The Democrats' new perception of masculinity.
In fact, the Babylon Bee has a picture of a battered woman and reading a statement, and the headline, trembling, bleeding spokeswoman issues statement denying that Doug Emhoff would ever hit anybody.
Not the Bee tweets, China is removing crosses from Catholic churches and replacing images of Christ with President Xi. But hey, Tim Walz adores the Commie Pinkos, has visited them for instructions 30 times now, the Manchurian Candidate.
Well, they have so much to offer Americans. How to run a country, stuff like that.
Haley Lennon tweets some advice. Ladies, I'm no marriage expert, but have you tried putting on a sundress and telling him you don't trust the government?
There's nothing like a sundress. I swear to, and
I'm telling you.
Honestly, when a little spaghetti strap and a little sundress, just flipping in the breeze and little sandals or something, and just a wisping little ethereal
baseball cap on with a little pigtail. Yeah.
You can't beat it. You just can't beat it.
Well, you can.
Pete's tweets there, the thing.
Doug Emhoff, you can.
Yeah, that's apparently. God, what a slime bag. I mean, the whole bunch of them. I mean, think about it. The man knocked up his nanny. She had to get an abortion. Cost him his marriage. He smacks around a woman because she thought she was flirting with a guy trying to get ahead of the line to get a car to get out of the Cannes Film Festival. I mean, and false walls. I just, honestly, I can't. And there's still nobody's talking about it. Nobody's mentioning anything about the false valor, gun in war. That is so number one disqualification automatically. If you are lacking that much character that you can't even, you have to make up someone else's life. How could you have that guy in the White House?
I know. You read about the fall of Rome, and everybody's got a theory as to why Rome fell. But do you think it ever crossed anybody's mind that there have been one half of the political factions of Rome may have opened up the borders to bring people in there? Because you wouldn't think that could happen, because no sane people would do that to their own country.
Yeah, and change your nature of your nation, therefore change what you thought you were, which is what we're going through right now. I mean, whoever even heard of this kind of stuff? And by the way, President showers with daughters doing it again. He walked in this is the first time in his presidency that President Slimebag walked into the press office and said, hey, let's take some questions. First time ever, 4 years. First time he's ever done it. And he walks in and he has in fact, I don't know whether we have the soundbite. I don't think we have it. It was on the news at 4 o'clock, as I recall. And just remembering it, he was asked about whether he's nervous about the election outcome or something like that. And they wanted him to get to say, that, she's going to win and da-da-da. Instead, what he said was, well, I'm very concerned about Donald Trump, because if he doesn't win, I'm very concerned about the violence, and, he's threatened these things in the past. And I go, whoa, wait a minute. This is a comment from the president about the election. He says, I'm afraid there's going to be violence if Trump loses. They're still doing it. They want him dead. Yep. He's going to Butler, Pennsylvania tomorrow. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, who could be joining him, are going to Butler, Pennsylvania, where he was shot in the face, and he's going there tomorrow, the two of them. And so Donald Trump now with a target on his back, where President Slimebag today says, well, if he wins, there's probably going to be violence in America. I'm nervous about the violence because they've done it before. Jesus, talk about deliberately putting a target on the man and on all conservatives. Here we go again, dividing our nation. I'm not going to cause violence if Trump loses. You're going to cause violence if he wins. That's the point. If Donald Trump wins, there will be violence in America, and it won't be us celebrating. It'll be them complaining about it.
The left will go nuts.
And you know damn well that's true. You think George Floyd was a problem? Oh, wait till this happens. Oh, these dirty, rotten bastards. These un-American traitors. They're traitors to what America is and stands for and always has stood for. Unbelievable. The nerve of this guy to say something like that today, that Donald Trump is so dangerous that if he wins, there could be danger and violence in America. First time he's ever been in the press room, and that's how he addresses it. Oh, also, he also talked about, we'll do one more kind of a newsy update thing, 444, by the way. Donald Trump's national security people are saying, man, they're mocking President Showers with daughter's warnings to Israel to stick to a proportional response and don't go after their nuclear facilities. President Biden insists the angry Israel should not strike their nuclear sites. Make sure the response is measured and proportional. Well, the former deputy director of national intelligence says Iran launched a war into Israel. So to say that the Israelis who are defending themselves and our hostages shouldn't attack sites in Iran that could kill them, especially when you're the one who gave the Iran $7 billion as commander-in-chief and that allowed them to acquire nuclear materials, is wildly political. That put the oil markets into a tailspin. It revealed discussing recommending Israel target Iran's energy facilities. So the markets are going crazy, talking to them about it, not something he mused about publicly, said former Trump national security advisor. You have something to announce, fine. You want to level the American people as much as you can. These random comments are really damaging and confusing to the Iranians, too. They don't know what the guardrails are, what's going on. I mean, this whole administration, they don't know what they're doing. Although they do know that what they're doing is dangerous. Good Lord. And then, by the way, we're at war with Yemen, apparently. The Americans today bombed Yemen. More than a dozen Houthi targets in Yemen attacked by American planes, a series of airstrikes on Iran-backed rebels today. The British military helping us out. The rebels fired more than a half dozen ballistic missiles at American cruise missile ships and drones at 3 American ships. Luckily, we shot them all out of the sky. But again, they're shooting at us and we're shooting at them. We're at war in Yemen. American ships. War. We're at war in Yemen. A fighting missile war. 446, can repeat and flounder. Yeah, let's have another draft. Women involved this time, though, too. What do you think?
The left-wing media is pushing counterfeit polls and bogus headlines, all while ignoring the stories that matter most. Trust the conservative voice of Atlanta for the real truth without the media spin. The Morning Extra, Glenn Beck, Clay Travis, Buck Sexton, The Kimmer Show, Jesse Kelly, and the voices you need most are all on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
It's going to be an interesting couple of months right here on XTRA 106.3.
Are you looking for something simple but delicious, sweet but also savory? Discover Schumann Farms Sweet Onions. Schumann Farms is a third-generation family farm with the Real Sweet brand and Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions. Each brand brings savory, sweet deliciousness to every meal. Whether you're grilling, sautéing, or simply adding a fresh crunch to your salad, Schumann Farms has you covered. Look for Schumann Farms Real Sweet brand and your Mr. Buck's brand sweet onions at your grocery store and taste the difference for yourself. Schumann Farms, the Georgia family farm growing tradition and the world's sweetest onions.
What's up, Atlanta? It's Ben Burnett, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show. Each and every weekend, right here on XTRA 106.3, we unpack all the week's events. We talk about all the issues with a local Atlanta-based flavor. You can catch me each and every weekend, Saturdays at 2 and Sundays at noon. If you ever miss an episode, you can go to the podcast park or wherever you download all of your content, and I'll be right there. Thanks for listening to the Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Butler Snow.
My fellow Americans, our yards are in troubled times. Unwanted weeds are crossing fence lines across our great nation, and we need to put a stop to it. No more college football Saturdays spent mowing the lawn. No, sir. Let's turf it with ultra-premium artificial grass from ATL Turf Co. They're Atlanta and North Georgia's first choice for premium turf solutions, from incredible lawns to custom putting greens. Let's make your yard great again with a free consultation at atlturfco.com.
You have enough to deal with after an accident. You don't want to spend a lot of that time messing around with insurance companies. Besides, what are you going to say to them? You really know the ins and outs? David Van Sant at Van Sant Law does. He used to work for the insurance companies. Their worst nightmare. He knows who to call, what to say, how to listen to them, and he has your best interest at heart. Van Sant Law, 855-GA-INJURY. VanSantLaw.com, 855-GA-INJURY.
It's October 4th, and this is your Fox Daily Snapshot. Today is Vodka Day. It's believed the drink came into existence in the Middle Ages, perhaps sometime during the 8th or 9th centuries, with the first people to distill this drink from grains or potatoes were religious monks. Its popularity growing following World War I when it landed firmly in North America. And always remember to drink responsibly. In 1957, the Soviet Union inaugurates the space age, launching Sputnik, the world's first artificial satellite. Born on this day in 1976, the star of the 1995 teen movie Clueless.
As if.
Alicia Silverstone. Janis Joplin dies of a heroin overdose in 1970. Joplin's voice, high, husky, earthy, explosive, one of the most recognizable in music history. I'm CJ Papa, and that's your Fox Daily Snapshot.
Your voice, your vote. And this year it matters more than ever. So for the unbiased election coverage that affects your family and your community, trust the voices that matter when it matters the most. XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
There we go. It's the Kimmer Beatles. 60s. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. It's 1969. The Beatles' Abbey Road album went to #1 in Britain. The final studio recordings from the group supposedly contained clues to the Paul is dead phenomenon. Paul is barefoot. The car number plate LMW281F supposedly referred to the fact that Paul McCartney would be 28 years old if he were still alive. LMW was said to stand for Linda McCartney Weeps. And the 4 Beatles represent the priest, John in white, the Undertaker, Ringo in a black suit, the corpse, Paul in a suit but barefoot, and the gravedigger, George, in jeans and a denim work shirt. So, who knows? Probably so. I like to think of it that way. Obladia, whatever, oblagad. Now, 451, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Birthday list, a little quick thinger. John Cicada, 63 years old. Just another day. I liked his song Angel. At least I really like that song. I think I might have it on my magic stick. I don't remember. John Cicada's 63. 404, is that for you, Pete?
Yep, that's for you.
All right, hold on a second. We got a new thing. And by the way, got a new, oh, yeah, here we go again. Here we go. I got 2 updates. Again, more information on President Potato Head showing up at the White House briefing room for the first time. But here, more on the business with trying to help the people who need the relief from the hurricane. Elon Musk now says that FEMA is blocking him from delivering aid to hurricane victims. He describes FEMA's actions as unconscionable in a statement to his social media platform X today. Entire towns in western North Carolina washed away. More than 220 people dead, hundreds more missing following the Category 4 storm. SpaceX engineers, he says, are trying to deliver Starlink terminals and supplies to devastated areas in North Carolina right now, says Musk. And hold on, stupid thing is getting all these things. Every time I get in a story, they have all these interruptive ads popping up for it. FEMA's both failing to stop and won't let others help. This is unconscionable. They just took this video a few hours ago where you can see the level of devastation, roads, houses, electricity, water supply, ground internet connections completely destroyed. FEMA won't let them land to deliver critical supplies. My blood is boiling. The Fed's disaster response agency has been painfully slow to deploy first responders to help the victims and making things worse on the ground. One FEMA whistleblower revealed the department's wasted and misappropriated funds in the wake of Helene and is now exacerbating the emergency. Musk says hundreds, if not thousands, of first responders and service members have been without deployment orders, some waiting around in hotels while others have sat idle as Americans throughout the Southeast are in dire need. Musk says it's not just SpaceX being prevented from dropping donations. They won't let anybody help. Flounder, tell you what, 453. Have we got time to play that lady? What the hell cut number is it? Number 2. Here's a woman who was in an airport in an airfield near one of these North Carolina problem areas, and she was listening to the FEMA people who showed up talking about what actually is going on. Flounder, if you would, sir.
Picked up a flight of pediatric medical supplies that were brought in and are going to North Asheville. we were sitting in the private portion of the airport, and we got to overhear an awful lot. The Army pilots, the Navy pilots, hospital representatives, there was a lot of chatter. While we were there, a private jet landed and 4 FEMA representatives got off. Four people off of a private jet. Come to find out, and you're not going to hear this, so let me tell you. Come to find out, Mission Hospital was told, a private hospital, that they are going to go ahead and be the morgue center for body recovery. All of the Army Chinook helicopters you're seeing flying overhead, they are doing body recovery. FEMA said, and you can take this as a direct quote, said that they are too tied up at the border to send any more representatives.
Yep. At the border.
At the border. So anyhow, I guess border control trumps whatever's going on here. So they told Mission Hospital they are not sending refrigerated trucks so that they can stack the bodies up. And we also overheard that whatever fatality numbers you are hearing, and this is a quote, go ahead and add a couple of zeros. So FEMA's too busy with the border. A private hospital and the Army are going to take over body recovery, and private individuals with their private helicopters and their private planes are the ones who are flying in supplies. I was at Hangar 10. I was picking up supplies. There was a stack for the Cajun Navy. There was a stack that looked like it was ASPCA. These are all being sent by private individuals. FEMA is doing nothing. Go ahead and share that.
Unbelievable. I mean, it's one case after another. And the tragedies continue, and you read more stories about the people stuck in trees screaming for help for hours and then are washed away. I mean, it's just babies and families and, oh, my God, it just...
They've never cared about Appalachia, and now they don't care because they're too busy bringing in prospective new Democratic voters, and their power is more important than their country.
Honestly,
lined up against a wall, all of them.
And then President Washer daughter actually had the balls today to say, when someone asked him in the storm zone, I'm wondering how are the states doing, sir? Are they getting what they need? And he says, in the storm zone. I was wondering what storm you're talking about. They're getting everything they need, and they're very happy across the board. Your president says the states are very happy. They're getting everything they need and are very happy across the board.
Imagine George Bush saying that 6 days after
God.
Katrina, that everything was fine.
Unbelievable. 4:57.
What a great lead into Flounder's Funnies.
Well, I want to change the mood now. We got the break coming up, but I got to do it either now or we don't do it. So
the question I always get more than anything is, how does somebody go from engineer to comedian? That's not your typical career path. So I realized I used Venn diagrams earlier, but Venn diagrams is a perfect way to explain how this happened. So here's what happened in my career choice. Okay, I was in high school. I was good at 2 things. I had math skills, and I was good at problem solving. And when you're good at those 2 things, no guidance counselor says, you, sir, should be a comedian. They would get fired. So they said I should become an engineer. So that's what I did. I got my engineering degree. Right? Over here, if you got people skills, you're good with people, and you're good at problem solving, you probably go into management, right? You're an MBA. Makes perfect sense. Over here, if you got OCD, everything has to be exactly right. And you have math skills, you're an accountant, is what you are. You can't solve any problems, but you can identify them. That's how that works. That's what accountants do, trust me. They're like, this is not adding up. This is not good. I am so glad I am not you. Over here, if you're into drinking and you have people skills, well, join our sales force. Welcome aboard. Over here, if you're heartless and you have OCD, you're in human resources. Don't worry, they're not here. And if you're heartless and into drinking, you're a lawyer, is what you are. And for all those things, you are, in fact, a...
And who's that engineer there, Flounder?
That is Mr. Don McMillan.
Don McMillan, there you go. 4:59. By the way, the dock workers union strike is not over, but it is paused. They'll continue contract talking about negotiations over automation, but they got a raise. They got a 62% wage increase. They wanted 77% increase.
If Trump wins, they will shut the ports down again and try and destroy the economy and blame it on him.
Yeah, everything's going to be on. I mean, it's the Trump hatred, man. The Trump derangement syndrome is real. It's real. Coming up on 5 o'clock, Holy Crap at Sports. And boy, we got a lot to talk about, too. Not only the baseball stuff, but those Falcons. Holy smokes. What a story. Anyways, coming up, Kipper Pete Flounder, 5 o'clock on 106.3. How you doing?
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches.
He's confident the elections will be free and fair. Lisa Brady, Fox News. But President Biden also says he does not know if they'll be peaceful.
I noticed that the vice presidential Republican candidate did not say he'd accept the outcome of the election. They haven't even accepted the outcome of the last election. So I'm concerned about what they're going to do.
President Biden says former President Trump said very dangerous things after the 2020 election.
I don't know anything about what he said. I only can hope that it's going to be free and fair. And I think in this state it will be. And I hope in every state it will be. And I think we're going to do very well. But right now we're focused on this.
Answering a reporter's question, Trump did not directly address the concern about potential violence. He was speaking in Georgia after a briefing on hurricane recovery efforts and saying he's focused on lives, not votes. He heads next to North Carolina and remains critical of the federal response, arguing millions spent helping illegal immigrants could have been used for storm relief. Some storm survivors say the response is too slow. White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre.
We have been working around the clock. The president directed his team very early on to work around the clock to make sure that the states that were affected, the states that he's visited and the vice president has visited over the past couple of days, got everything that they need.
She says more resources are beginning to reach the hardest hit areas. Hurricane Helene is now blamed for at least 230 deaths. Vice President Kamala Harris calls the former president an existential threat to the labor movement.
Donald Trump's track record is a disaster for working people. And he's trying to gaslight people all over our country.
She's holding two events in Michigan today before visiting North Carolina tomorrow as she and Trump continue to attack each other's economic records. Trump says inflation has been a disaster, rejecting today's jobs report as evidence of an improving economy. 254,000 jobs added in September. America's listening to Fox News.
Madame Giselle senses a change in your future.
Is it a promotion?
I see a door opening.
Ooh, to a corner office?
There's a creature. Beady eyes, lots of hair.
Is it my boss, Dave?
No, raccoons everywhere. Your RV door is open, and they're chewing everything.
Not a problem. I'm covered by Progressive. Do you see a bigger paycheck?
Customize your coverage with Progressive's Pest Damage Protection and be prepared for the unexpected. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Pest damage protection available for RVs less than 6 years old. $250 deductible applies to any claim.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated. And you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine.
Not fun.
Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. We find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right a bike. Ready on your dog talking. Help. First one to the rear. Help. Rub guards out. Help. Stand by. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer 503 with Pete Davis and Flounder on 106.3. How's it going? Here's the phone number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Good to have you aboard with us. If you'd like to join us, we got a lot of good sports stuff coming up here very shortly. More stuff on politics and the hurricane relief and the disaster and just all of a sudden it's getting. We just heard the story there about more people saying Donald Trump is dangerous. And anyway, well, we have more about that too. If you just joined us, the dock worker strike is on pause for a while. President Stupidface lost his latest bid to give away free loan decisions for all those college students who didn't want to pay back their college student loans, and he got away with it in Georgia just yesterday. A Georgia judge, let me get his name here, District Judge Randall Hall transferred the ruling from Georgia, removed Georgia from the case after finding it would not experience any legal harm under Biden's handout plan. Again, talking about getting rid of student loans. So the Georgia judge said, no, well, we're going to let the thing expire so they can go ahead and do what he wants. But then another judge today in Missouri said, no. We're blocking that. It is a student loan handout deal. One day after the Georgia judge let it go, the Department of Education overstepped its authority by proposing a regulation to cancel student loan debt without an act of Congress. Two previous efforts by President Slimebag to fulfill his campaign promise to get student loans defeated went down in defeat. It's his third proposal, the new one, $73 billion in student loans. $73 billion by an estimated 27 million people. You've got to be kidding me. And this is why Donald Trump, when and if he wins the presidency again, will be eliminating the Department of Education from the cabinet. A Department of Education spokesperson says the department is extremely disappointed by the ruling blocking the relief for the student loans. It was brought by Republicans who just stop at nothing to prevent millions of their own constituents from getting breathing room on their student loans. And then it says, we will not stop fighting to fix the broken student loan system and provide support and relief to the borrowers. What do you mean broken system? It's not broken. You're just not paying your bills. If you take out a loan, pay it back. How's that? If you don't pay it back, that's what breaks the system. You freaking idiot. I mean, I hate these people. And all the people who make the point a million times. It's not fair that people like me and you who paid off student loans for ourselves and our daughters, paid and sons, whoever, and I mean, the families and everything. And plus, that's because they got the opportunity to go to college and they have ended up paying for it. But why should a guy who never went to college and supported his family be paying for your bills?
Yeah, electrician, plumber, who's someone who got a trade and worked their butts off to get business going, and they have to pay for some gender studies idiot?
Yeah, exactly. And again, pay your freaking bills. These guys paid their bills, and they did, but I mean, the whole thing is just absolutely...
It's working class people paying for upper middle class dweebs who won't pay their student loans.
And he wanted billions of dollars in relief again for this another thing here. We just said a minute ago that President Washer daughter says that all the states are getting all the relief they need. He literally said, the storm, I don't know what storm you're talking about, that one. They're getting everything they need, and they're very happy across the board. Some reaction to that. The outrage is even higher now because FEMA's running out of hurricane relief funds after they spent $1.4 billion of FEMA money on housing and food for illegal immigrants. Biden didn't know what storm zone the reporter was talking about and said they're all happy. Does he think he has the faintest clue about where he went and how those folks are doing? Are they very happy? Are you kidding me? Getting everything they need? What are you talking about? Brian Kemp said he's outraged that Biden earlier this week only included 11 Georgia counties for emergency designation until Kemp started bitching about it. Hell, President Stupidface didn't even include North Carolina for 5 days in an emergency proclamation. Elon Musk's I got a note. We've got his story here coming up in a second. Elon Musk got a note from one of his guys on the ground. Says, hey, Elon, we're on the ground in Asheville. We have powered up 2 large operating bases for choppers to deliver goods into hands. We have 300 plus Starlinks and outpour as it saved many lives. But FEMA's actively blocking shipments and seizing goods and services locally and locking them away to state that they are their own. That was from one of the guys on the ground. And then just now, Elon, by the way, before I even get to that, here's speaking of the money. Juanita Broderick, remember, she was Bill Clinton's rape victim. Juanita Broderick makes the point that so far this year, the United States has given $24 billion to Ukraine, $11 billion to Israel, $2 billion to Ethiopia, $1.6 billion to Jordan, $1.4 billion to Egypt, $1.1 billion to Afghanistan, $1 billion to Somalia, $1 billion to Yemen, $1 billion to the Congo, and $1 billion to Syria, and $9,000 per each illegal immigrant who has entered the United States. And Americans who lost everything will be getting $750 after they fill out the forms and send them in. Just for the record. Now,
do you know what that idiot also said when he showed up at the news conference today?
What's that?
He said, I'm back in the race.
He said he's back.
I bet Kamala's people love that.
Holy smokes. I think, well, he's supposed to campaign with her, right? He hasn't done anything. For like 50 days. Anyway, this all just makes me so freaking mad. And speaking, by the way, when he, again, the first time ever that this president ever went into the briefing room and started to be happy to answer questions, he said, and he was asked about how he feels about the election, with chances for the outcome and so on and so forth. And this president, this disgraceful empty shirt, said next month's president election may not be peaceable. He continued his lame duck explosion in his press availability after years of shunning interviews. I'm confident it'll be free and fair. I don't know whether it will be peaceful, said the retiring slime bag. He was there for about 15 minutes. He said the things that Donald Trump has said and the things that he said last time out when he didn't like the outcome of the election were very dangerous. Have you noticed? I noticed that the vice presidential Republican candidate J.D. Vance did not say he would accept the outcome of the election and hasn't even accepted the outcome of the last election, so I'm concerned about what they're trying to do. This is President Stupid Face today calling Donald Trump dangerous. If he wins, there could be violence. Actually, it's going to be the other way, sir. If Donald Trump wins, your people will commit the violence, and we all know it. And by the way, when Donald Trump wins, I'm carrying several weapons on me, and the first person who tries to make fun of me wearing a Marine Corps hat or something is going to get it. We're not taking this crap anymore. And the Kyle Rittenhouse thing, yeah, we're going to defend ourselves. So I guarantee you, if Donald Trump wins and you liberals start causing all the violence, guess what? We're fighting back. That's a freaking promise. I'm not taking this from you people. I'm not taking this from you people. Oh, try me. Swear to God, try me. I'm begging you. Oh, man, I hate what they stand, what they're doing, what they stand for. Elon Musk just said it's unconscionable what FEMA's doing. Blocking relief efforts, blocking the Starlinks. It's just outrageous. 512. Kim Feet fell in there. Oh, man. Let's see. And by the way, Pete, remind him, when this was going on, the New York Times coverage, if they have to find something to be critical about, the New York Times coverage about the FEMA relief,
was that the illegals are not being taken care of quickly in the hurricane relief.
The poor Latinos, they're just not being taken care of properly here in the South in Appalachia.
Now you know how the poor white people and the poor black people have felt in Appalachia for the last 100 years.
God. I mean, this is just, I'm really just absolutely outrageous. And again, you get guys, the ex-NASCAR driver, Greg Biffle, mentioned he's got his own helicopter. He was delivering stuff. A guy shined a light from a mirror, reflected the sunlight from a mirror a mile away for Greg Biffle flying his helicopter in North Carolina, saw the signal and rescued the guy and took care of business on his own.
It's amazing he could land because he circled for like 100 laps to the left before he finally got it down.
Take off your blinker. 5:13, Holy Crap at Sports. Go Falcons. The Falcons may be something serious. Oh, my God. We'll see. Kim Repeat, Flounder. Here we go.
From the latest breaking news to the conservative voices you know and trust, your best new follow on social media is XTRA 106.3. We're at XTRA 106.3 on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, and LinkedIn, and pretty much any social media you scroll through every day. And we drop exclusive giveaways, new daily content, and the latest breaking news from Georgia and across this great nation. Interact with your favorite Extra personalities. Get the latest on our live events and so much more. Follow at XTRA 106.3 across all your social media and keep up with Atlanta's only conservative voice.
Join A Second Chance Bail Bond CEO Daniel Madelon and host Tug Coward for the weekly radio show Back Your Blue. They will highlight special initiatives, criminal justice programs, and community events aimed at keeping our communities safer. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to learn some good news about and from the law enforcement and justice communities. Tune in on Saturdays or catch up on all past episodes wherever you get your podcasts or at thepodcastpark.com.
No one plans on going to jail, but when it happens, it's important that you know who to call. Call A Second Chance Bail Bonds, where we believe everyone deserves a second chance. Whether your loved one's been arrested in Cherokee, Clayton, or any of the other metro Atlanta counties in between, A Second Chance Bail Bonds works fast to help expedite release within hours. A Second Chance. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call A Second Chance 24/7 at 404-BAIL-OUT or online at atlbail.com.
Election season is here, and regardless of which side of the aisle you're on, we can all experience the stress of uncertainty. Fear of the unknown can cause us to postpone important decisions that impact our lives, especially in retirement planning. Resist hesitation and contact Masterplan Retirement Consultants, a holistic retirement planning firm dedicated to creating a retirement plan to help with all of life's surprises. Through income planning and money management, legacy planning, and tax planning, we create a plan specifically designed for your life to see you to and through retirement. Don't leave your retirement up to chance. Create a plan for your retirement and pursue peace of mind. Visit masterplanretire.com. Masterplan Retirement Consultants. Plan well and prosper.
Advisory services offered through Masterplan Retirement Consultants, Inc., a registered investment advisory in the state of Georgia. Insurance, tax, and commodity services offered through Fricks & Associates, Inc., DBA Masterplan Retirement Consultants. The aforementioned are affiliated companies.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Time is up. The IRS is in full collection mode for 2024, issuing liens, levies, and garnishments to anyone who has a past tax debt or unfiled tax returns. Don't wait till it's too late. Your paycheck and bank accounts are at risk of being seized. Call now and stop the collection process today. If you're living check to check, no matter how much you're making, you still may qualify for the Fresh Start programs offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. It's just a 5-minute call to get your options, and it's free. If you owe back taxes, have years of unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to sleep better, business or personal, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief while there's still time. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and tough. This veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. The call is free. Call their hotline number now, 800-652-1714. That's 800-652-1714. Find out if you qualify today. today. Call 800-652-1714 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary. Paid for by AMD Financial.
I know it doesn't feel like it right now, but the cold air is coming fast. That means a couple different things to me and you. Energy bills will be rising and company coming over for the holidays. Dan Watkins here with all Four Seasons garage, entry doors, and windows. It's time to get your house ready for the winter air and your holiday visitors. The good news is that we have you covered for every opening in your home. So call us today to set up a free estimate with one of our amazing sales consultants. They'll help you pick out the perfect garage door, front door, and windows for your home.
All right, look out. Our 5 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends at Lee Brandt Jewelers, where luxury jewelry and watches are affordable. Drop by their store in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com. It's 5:18, and that means holy crap, it's sports with Pete Davis.
I believe I speak for everyone here at the Kimmer Show when I
Yes.
say that no one here ever gives up on the Atlanta Falcons. All three of us sit on the edge of our sofas knowing that some way, somehow, the Birds will always find a way to come through in the end.
Well, they always
That's
have,
why
you know.
all of us stay for the final second because we know they will pull it out.
Yeah.
And if for some strange reason you did not stay until the end, here's what happened according to Iron Eagle and former Falcon Derek Rackley on Westwood 1.
Pistol formation, motion man Mooney, Robinson in the backfield, the throw from Cousins, it's caught at the 40, moving upfield, Hodge, he could go, 10-5, touchdown, that is a winner for the Atlanta Falcons, 45 yards, and it's over. A career night for Cousins, and a breakthrough win for Atlanta.
Wow.
Yeah. Of course, Kimmer and Flounder, they heard Al Michaels on Amazon do the call.
Well, no, I didn't have that app on my phone. I didn't get the phone app for that one.
You didn't watch the game.
Of course not.
36-30, the final for Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Maybe the Arthur Blank sideline curse is a thing of the past now.
Maybe. We hope.
That's an ending we're accustomed to seeing other teams do to the Falcons. What they've done in like 5 days, they did it to the Saints and they did it to the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
All was thought lost when Kirk Cousins threw an interception with 3 minutes to go in regulation, but the Atlanta defense stopped Baker Mayfield for once, and Tampa Bay got cold and got the ball back for Atlanta. Cousins drove them down, and Young Wei Koo kicked the game-tying field goal with 2 seconds left to send the game in overtime. And when head coach Raheem Morris was asked, "What did you say to your quarterback after the last drive in regulation?" Morris replied, "None of your business."
Oh, really?
Good.
Wow.
And just one play after star receiver Drake London, who, God, he looks good this year, left the game with an injury. Kadarrell Hodge came in with the fresh legs, evaded one tackle, then boat raced the entire Buccaneers defense to the end zone, where he was dogpiled by the entire Falcons team. And they did it on national television. So my fear of them starting 0-5 has become a record of 3-2 as Cousins has found his mojo.
Yeah, boy.
Here's some stats about this guy. Completed 42 of 58 passes for 509 yards and 4 touchdowns. All those stats either set or matched a career high. The 509 passing yards are the most by any NFL quarterback in a single game this season. And the 4 passing touchdowns ties for the most in this season. Cousins also became the 13th player in NFL history with 500-plus passing yards and 4-plus passing touchdowns in a single game.
Wow. That's so
13.
spectacular. Yeah.
Only Tom Brady has ever done it in a nationally televised game.
Goodness.
Yeah. It was like watching Norm Van Brocklin and Dan Fouts rolled into one. Look up old Norm there, kids. And while you're at it, look up Dan Fouts,
Dan
too.
Fouts, sure. Ariel.
Cousins, the only NFL quarterback in the Super Bowl era to throw for at least 250 yards in both before and after halftime.
Oh, that's another one. I hadn't thought about that, too. Cool.
Yeah. He's the first, the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for more than 500 yards in a victory without throwing a single pass while his team was ahead on the scoreboard.
That's interesting.
Yeah. They finally remembered tight end Kyle Pitts was on the team. 7 catches for 88 yards. Their 550 total yards, the most by far in the league this season. And according to Next Gen Stats, the Falcons' win probability against the Eagles, Saints, and Bucks bottomed out at 1%. 26% and 5% respectively. That's a 0.013% chance, or 1 in 7,692 chance to win all 3 games, which they did.
So there.
I'm telling you. So the offense finally showed up. This time the defense had trouble. The Falcons became the first defense in the NFL not to record a first-half pressure in a game this season, as Bucs quarterback Baker Mayfield was not pressured a single time in 15 dropbacks in the first half, even though he faced a blitz on 60% of those dropbacks. Wow. And I'll tell you what, the old line of the Bucs, you got to give them credit too, but the Falcons have got to do something about the pass rush because Matt Ryan entered the Falcons' Ring of Honor at halftime. They escorted him out because he wasn't supposed to. No, they put him in there. He's in there, thank God.
Yes,
the unctuous Tony Gonzalez there to help slip the red jacket on his quarterback. He just makes me shiver when I see. He's just so oily. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I went on the ESPN NFL page.
Yeah.
The Falcons' exciting win was the eighth story on their NFL page. Not overall on ESPN, on the NFL page on ESPN. It was behind such sterling and headline-inducing stories as the Colts running back not playing, and today's daily story about how Aaron Rodgers is not mad as his head coach, even though tomorrow the story will be he's mad at his head coach. Every stinking day.
They hate us.
Now, they do. They hate the Falcons. As for the Braves, several players are expected to have their club options picked up, including Marcell Ozuna, Travis d'Arnaud, and Aaron Bummer. The entire coaching staff also expected to be back for 2025. All of this, very good news.
Very good news.
Chris Sale threw a side session today at the ballpark to alleviate any questions about a sore back lingering through the offseason, and he was pain-free. As Brian Snicker and Alex Anthopoulos met with the media today and talked about it, and basically the question of Max Fried came up, and he says, we'd love to have Max back, but there are 29 other teams who want Max Fried. So we'll see. By the way, San Diego knocked Atlanta out of the playoffs, but their fans still have some class. Padres Nation tweeted, shout out to the Braves. They were brutalized by injuries and still put up a good fight. Got nothing but respect for their fans.
Outstanding, as it should be.
After living there, San Diego is definitely not Los Angeles. It is a totally different world.
Very true. Yeah.
Terry Francona retired as Cleveland's manager last year because of health reasons. Well, I guess he's been drinking his beet juice, or he took a trip to Lourdes because he's back as the skipper of the Reds. He moved across state.
Really?
Of course, he's made a bad trade, in my opinion.
Yeah, wow.
The 65-year-old Francona helped the Red Sox break the curse of the Bambino, had 2 World Series wins there, had 11 good years with the Indians and Guardians. So he's a Hall of Fame manager to be.
Absolutely.
He really is.
Yeah.
The Brewers got the same treatment the Braves did last Monday, leading 2-1 the top of the ninth in Milwaukee. Devin Williams gave up a game-winning 3-run home run to Pete Alonso, who hadn't done squat all postseason and was being booed by both Brewers and Mets fans as New York came from behind to win their wild card series. Devin Williams, one of the best closers in baseball, had only given up 1 home run all season, and that was to the Braves' Jared Kelenic.
Wow.
So now the Mets will play the Phillies. And talk about a conundrum. Who do you root for? The Earth. So a chasm opens up and swallows them all.
Man.
Maybe an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease.
Well,
just kidding. Just kidding. We just want a good game. Go Tigers.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, New York City mouthpiece Sal Licata, who has several times open mouth insert foot over the years, including a couple years ago, the famous "This is over" when the Mets took an early lead and the Braves came back and beat them. And he posted this right before Alonso's blast. Bottom line: Mets don't have nearly enough. Never did. Fun little season. Time to go spend some money and get some real players.
Three-run bomb. You win.
Shut up. It's no secret that Raiders receiver Davante Adams is unhappy in Las Vegas and wants a trade. Now we may have a clue where he wants to go. Davante posted a pic on his Instagram page, a pic of a famous literary figure known for writing such classics as The Telltale Heart and The Raven. Who is he talking about?
Well, Edgar Allan Poe from Baltimore.
Very good. Very good. Very good, sir.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is, by the way, if you visit Edgar's grave, make sure you do it before sundown. Just saying.
Yeah, I would not doubt that.
Just saying.
You know?
Meanwhile, a New England beat reporter says the Patriots are on the edge of mutiny after a 1-3 start under new head coach Gerard Mayo. He keeps starting retread Jacoby Brissett and refuses to play the rookie quarterback Drake May. As one wide receiver put it, like, why am I going out there with a quarterback who can't get me the football when we've got the Ferrari back in the garage that can get me the football?
Oh, this is his own teammate.
His own teammate.
That's not good there.
Congrats to the classy folks at Georgia Tech. This week, they allowed a football team wearing red and black to practice at their facilities. Valdosta State displaced by Hurricane Helene, and they're without power down there.
Well,
the
nice.
4-0 Blazers play at Shorter College tomorrow, so good for Tech.
I'll be darned.
And you doing your nails there? I just
got a thing. I've got a thing on my face here. My finger.
You got a what?
I don't know. I got a thing. This nail's too long, and I don't want to cut it because it won't come out right. But it's longer than normal, and it's driving me nuts.
All right. All right. Tennessee will be sporting new helmet decals that read Mountain Strong for their game tomorrow against Arkansas. Good for them.
Okay.
And tonight you have Jacksonville State at Kennesaw State. Houston visits Texas Christian. And Oregon, 7th in the Pete poll, entertains some junior college, the East Lansing Spartans.
Now, just a moment, sir.
Sounds like a correspondence school to me. I don't know.
The home of the Kimmer's master's degree, thank you.
They wouldn't let you leave with it. Huh? They made you leave it
it's
there?
Still there.
Well, there's only one. They've only got one master's
We have
degree.
to share it. You have to
share it.
You
It's like the
it.
claret jug.
You get to use it once every year for a month.
UNLV will have a donut eating contest at halftime of tonight's game with Syracuse. Miki Sudo, who's won the female side of the Nathan's hot dog eating contest 10 times and who's a Runnin' Rebels alum, will stuff her pie hole with 2 dozen pink frosted donuts for Breast Cancer Awareness Night.
Okay, well,
Very
good
nice.
cause.
This news came down Monday. MLB players will return to wearing their own uniforms during the All-Star game next year.
Oh, well, there you go. Good Lord.
Good.
It's not like you can't keep track of who's on the field not playing with your side. Good grief.
Seriously, I missed that. The Onion reports on a new service by the NFL.
Oh.
You ready?
Yeah.
Offering football fans the chance to catch every testimony and cross-examination without having to change the channel. NFL Sunday Ticket announced it's now allowing viewers to simulcast up to 4 domestic violence trials at the same time. It used to be that we would only have 1 or 2 big domestic violence trials with our players, but as the league has grown, fans started to complain that there were sometimes 8 different trials they wanted to watch going on at the same time, said NFL head of marketing Tim Ellis, adding that many fans want to catch local domestic violence trials outside of their market because it looks like a good matchup or has some big fantasy implications. It used to be that you'd be watching the defense on one trial as it tried to discredit the accuser and not realize you were missing a handgun being entered into evidence over on another channel. With our new NFL grand jury package on Sunday Ticket, you can keep an eye on multiple trials at once and go full screen when the action heats up. It starts at $249, but that gets you hundreds of different domestic violence suits to choose from during the year, including civil suits. And the package covers related gun, drug, and reckless driving trials. It's the best way to catch all the biggest stars in the NFL. Ellis added that while grand jury subscribers will have access to almost every domestic violence trial, the package will not cover NFL Thursday trials that are licensed exclusively to Amazon Prime. So you're going to have to get that box.
Yes, indeed. It's what I need, another app.
And I will leave you with an inspiring quote from Babe Ruth.
All right, sir.
Sometimes I reflect on all the beer I drank and I feel ashamed. Then I look into the glass and think about the workers in the brewery and all of their hopes and dreams. If I didn't drink this beer, they might be out of work and their dreams would be shattered.
See? Just
from the Bambino. So how you look at it, it's perspective.
Yeah, here you go. Absolutely. Yes. Well done. Pete Davis, Holy Crap at Sports, 531. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Flounder's Funny's coming up. And, we got actual stuff, actual newsy thing. Oh, and a warning about October 7th coming up because it's an anniversary of ill repute. And you got to be on the lookout. Coming up, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. Look out, here we go.
Pro-terrorist, protesters, the unrest is back. This has to be shut down completely.
Oh, the fun of it is that they're so dedicated to Hamas, they had to take 4 months off.
Yes.
Extra 106.3 FM and the Extra app.
Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watch Company, where quality and value make the difference. Locally owned and located in Sandy Springs, offering you the finest selection of unique diamonds, sapphires, rubies, and emerald jewelry, as well as other fine gemstones. Lee Brandt Jewelry and Watches has been servicing Rolex watches for over 30 years, and their Rolex-trained watchmaker will service your watch in their state-of-the-art Rolex service center in their store. Lee Brandt uses only genuine Rolex parts, and their estimates are free. Drop by Lee Brandt in the Trader Joe's Shopping Center in Sandy Springs or visit LeeBrandt.com.
What's up, Atlanta? It's Ben Burnett, host of the Weekend Ben Burnett Show. Each and every weekend, right here on XTRA 106.3, we unpack all the week's events. We talk about all the issues with a local Atlanta-based flavor. You can catch me each and every weekend, Saturdays at 2 and Sundays at noon. If you ever miss an episode, you can go to the podcast park or wherever you download all of your content, and I'll be right there. Thanks for listening to the Ben Burnett Show, proudly brought to you by Butler Snow.
With the upcoming election, an assassination attempt on President Trump, wars overseas, inflation, and stock market volatility, these are uncertain times. Do you have a plan? Are you prepared today to have a worry-free tomorrow? If you haven't been to True Prep, now is the time. True Prep is locally owned and operated by Joey and Matthew, who are Georgia Tech graduates. Visit True Prep on Cobb Parkway in Marietta or visit online at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
You know the old expression, I love it when a plan comes together? Well, with our First Liberty Notes, this has been so true. Hello, I'm Brant Frost, founder of First Liberty Building and Loan. You hear about our family's company all the time right here on this station. For over 30 years, we've been the local lender who said yes when the big banks say no. A couple of months ago, we opened up our First Liberty Notes program to Main Street investors just like you, and the response has been just incredible. Folks from airline pilots to physicians to even pastors are now earning 8 to 13% interest rates while helping to fuel the growth of local small businesses. If you're a qualified investor with a minimum of $25,000, you too could be earning 8 to 13% interest. We'd love to have you join our First Liberty family today. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com and see if our First Liberty Notes are right for you. Go to FirstLibertyGA.com. That's FirstLibertyGA.com.
First Liberty Notes are not obligations of or guaranteed by any financial institution and are not secured by any collateral. They are not FDIC insured or guaranteed by any government agency. You could lose money. SEC accredited investor status must be verified. Securities not offered in any jurisdiction in which it is unlawful.
If you love listening to Extra all week, make sure you're here this weekend for even more great local shows from across the community. The All Four Seasons Home Show, Ben Burnett, Janelle King, Back Your Blue, and so many more. Listen to them this weekend or anytime on the all-new Extra 106.3 app.
Here we go now. 5:34. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Stand by. Led Zeppelin, 1968, the first night of the British Club Tour. Led Zeppelin billed as the Yardbirds, featuring Jimmy Page at the time. They appeared at the Mayfair Ballroom, Newcastle upon Tyne, England. You know, they have too many freaking names for their towns over there. It's stupid. Anyway, that was Led Zeppelin, supported by Terry Reid's Fantasia. Tickets were, it says 10.6. I don't know what that means. $10.06? That can't be right. The Mayfair was a regular venue for up-and-coming acts. Pink Floyd, Mott the Hoople, Def Leppard, AC/DC all appeared at the club, demolished in the year 2000, and Led Zeppelin there in 1968. Okie dokie. Let's see. Phone calls take priority to the phones. Ed is on the radio with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Ed, how's it going? Happy Friday, sir.
Hey, guys. I was pleasantly surprised last night. I was able to watch the game without Amazon Prime.
There you go. That was on Channel 4 or on Fox. I mean, it was on TV.
Unbelievable. And my wife found it and taped it for me. I had no idea. I was kind of kind of ticked off about it because that was a great game, and I knew I couldn't watch it. But there it was. Lo and behold, I watched the whole game, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, I tell you, I did actually see some part of the game, but I was whatever. But again, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, I think it looks like they're trying to do the right thing, and these are great wins. So I'm excited for them. I hope they do great. I think this will be a fun year.
Well, I was going to ask Pete. I mean, what's the deal? Are there exceptions with this Amazon Prime thing, or what?
I had no idea it was on Fox 5 last night. I thought it was just Amazon.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, it was very. I don't know whether they're publicizing anything anymore. I guess I don't know. But again, I hate all this technology stuff, and we're stuck with it. So it's going to get worse.
Well, it's not technology. It's not technology. It's the NFL making money.
Yeah,
selling these contracts to these networks.
Yeah.
Well, that's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. 5:37 to the phone. Stan, you're on the radio. Stan, welcome aboard. What's up?
Hey, guys. Kimmer, you just mentioned October 7th.
Yeah, there's a warning out.
And I know, and I know you don't stream. I know you don't have any of those apps, but there is a show on Paramount Plus.
Mm-hmm.
It's called We Will Dance Again.
Okay.
And it's the day of October 7th at that music festival. And if you want to see what Israel's dealing with, it's a documentary that shows what happened that day, and they show live footage from the Hamas terrorists.
Yeah.
They had cameras on themselves and stuff.
Yeah, to brag about it, what they did. Yeah.
Oh, it's complete evil.
Yeah.
They are soulless, evil people, and they deserve everything they get.
Less than animals.
From Israel.
Yeah. These aren't humans.
Oh, absolutely. No. It's horrible, but if you can get...
And the name of it again? Paramount Prime, and what's the name?
It's Paramount Plus.
Plus, yeah.
And it's We Will Dance Again.
There you go. Okay, thank you, Stan. I appreciate it. And again, the FBI and Homeland Security today are warning America that the upcoming one-year anniversary is this weekend. Today's the 5th. It'll be the 7th. That's Sunday. Yeah. So there's a public service announcement. The anniversary may motivate extremists and others to engage in hate crimes and provoke violence. Quote, over the past year, we have observed violent extremist activity and hate crimes in the United States linked to the conflict. Jewish, Muslim, or Arab institutions, including synagogues, mosques, Islamic centers, and community centers, and large public gatherings such as memorials, vigils, or other lawful demonstrations, present attractive targets for violent attacks or for hoax threats of a variety by threat actors, including violent extremists and hate crime perpetrators, according to the statement. Hamas killed those 1,200 people and kidnapped. We still have Americans are still held hostage, kidnapped. Yeah, how come we're not getting them? Why don't we just go freaking get them? You know, and kill anybody who gets in the freaking way. I seriously, I don't. Send the freaking, let the Marines go. Get some guys just got out of boot camp, real anxious to go do something with their training and experience. I mean, this is outrageous. How is it possible that we're not just going to get the freaking people?
You see, Hollywood pumps out these movies about these mercenaries all the time. Where the hell are these people?
Yeah. We know there are a lot, Black Rock or whatever, whatever. I mean, please, come on.
What better thing to do than go in there and get these hostages?
Save them. Yeah, hell, Ross Perot was doing savior missions back when he was running for president. Ross Perot, I mean, taking it on his own because he had the money to go do it individually. Yeah, God, I mean, these freaking people, man.
Real quick, we got Rob on the horn. He wanted to talk to you about this.
Excellent. Rob, you're on radio. I appreciate you calling. Yes, sir. What's up?
Good friends has family up there, and she's on her way up there with her third trip, and she says nobody or nothing will stop her from going in there. And those FEMA people don't know what they're up against.
You're talking now. We missed part of that. Is this who you're talking about? It's your wife or friend or who?
No, it's one of our good friends. Parents live up there, and she's on her way up there with her third trip carrying supplies to her family. She was raised up there.
Yeah.
And she says those FEMA people do not know who they're up against.
Well,
I mean, up there don't play around.
Yeah.
I mean, they're back in the holler.
Yeah, I know. Well, again, even Elon Musk says that they're being blocked from delivering aid to the hurricane victims. The entire towns are washed away. 200 plus people are dead. Engineers from SpaceX trying to deliver Starlink terminals and supplies to North Carolina, Elon Musk said this afternoon, and they're being blocked. FEMA's failing in both the helping and won't let others help. It's unconscionable.
Well, what we don't see and what we don't understand is every road up there, every driveway up there, every county road, interstate follows the creeks up the hollers, as we call them. And they're all washed out. The people's driveways are gone, the county roads are gone, and the interstates are gone.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just can't imagine that.
Yeah. I know. It's brutal. And again, and everything that may be left is under 10 feet of mud in a lot of cases. I mean, the whole thing is just, every time I see the videos, I think, oh my God, I mean, it seems like it's getting worse and worse. And so we didn't really realize about this. I mean, Lord.
The FEMA people sitting in Washington, D.C. saying,
you're it. You're going, no, I'm not going up there.
Yeah. Well,
you think about that.
Yeah. And in fact, while we have you on the line, a story breaking right now. President Stupidface showed up in the White House briefing room for the first time in his presidency ever. And reporters had the opportunity to question President Stupidface when he made this surprise appearance, but did not ask any questions about the disaster unfolding in the Southeast and Appalachia because of Hurricane Helene. The first time he appeared at the White House press briefing room since he took office, he spoke about suspending the dock workers strike, and he talked about how dangerous Donald Trump's going to be if he wins, or if he doesn't win, rather. And then the reporters asked about casting doubt on the economic numbers. He said, Rubio described today's jobs report as having fake numbers. What do you make of that? You're worried about Americans hearing the job numbers aren't real, and he just kind of sloughed it off, and they didn't ask him anything about about what's going on in the hurricane victims. I mean, it's just
it's unbelievable.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Listen, thanks, man. Have a great weekend. I appreciate it.
He was looking for ice cream. He didn't know he was walking in the press conference.
Yeah, he went there. He took a wrong turn. You've never been there before. I mean, just really horrible. Just absolutely freaking horrible. By the way, a couple quick sports leftover things, Pete. I wanted to make sure we didn't miss here. Our sports birthday list includes Tony La Russa, 80 years old today. And AC Green, the former NBA star. AC Green is 61. And this was the day, oops-a-daisy, got to find it here with I got the damn phone, my stupid phone thing. I'm relying on my phone. Here we go. On this day, by the end of the fourth game of the 1919 World Series, champion White Sox against the Cincinnati Reds, people were saying, gee, I wonder if this series is being fixed. By the fourth game, it was very suspicious. The Reds won after a year of investigating and confessions from 2 players. All 8 players who were implicated were banned from baseball forever. And because of the scandal, the 1919 Black Sox scandal, baseball appointed its first commissioner to see that it would never happen again. That was Kennesaw Mountain Landis, I believe, wasn't it?
That's
the first commissioner. Yeah. Anyway.
And by the way, yes. Reggie Bush says he almost went to a P. Diddy party a few years ago.
Yeah.
He showed up with his friend, the football player, and his friend started blowing chunks on the lawn in front of the security people, and they said, "You're not getting in here." And he now thanks his friend for doing that.
Wow. Well, in fact, there's another story about P. Diddy today in the news, and the story is about a video coming up from years ago with the video that's being shopped around on the dark web involves a young person who's a big Serious A celebrity, and with all the talk that's been going on about Justin Bieber in years past, and the link is coming out now, and the people who are now was offered a chance to buy the tape that's going around says it's a videotape clearly seeing the faces of the 2 people of P. Diddy having sex with a boy. And that's what one person says the tape is, that P. Diddy is having sex with a younger person.
Why is the lawyer in Texas withholding this for a month?
Yeah.
Is he waiting for after the election?
I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you, this is getting stinkier and stinkier by the day. This has the earmarks of a really horrible
And the scary thing is, you got this go-go dancer saying, I saw this person there.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people go to parties.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they stick around
Yeah.
for the after hours when bad stuff happens.
You can't accuse people that were there of doing something untoward or immoral or something. That's stupid. 5:46 already. Holy cow. Kimber Pete, Flounder. Flounder's Funny's got one more for you for the end of the day, and the ladies are checking on the news and stuff and things, and 404-741-1230. Your calls too, right there.
All wealth in this country is owned by individuals, not by corporations. All wealth is held by individuals.
Catch Neil's commentary every day on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
Central Heating and Air Conditioning wants you to know the start of the new season is the perfect time to ensure your home's comfort for the fall and winter. Don't wait like most people do to have your HVAC system serviced. Your home should have maintenance twice a year. Maintenance helps keep your furnace running at peak efficiency and extends the life of your equipment. Turn to the experts for your system's maintenance at 770-GET-HEAT or centralheat.com. Central Heating and Air Conditioning can fix what ails your house and possibly your family with home ventilation and air quality products. Central has packages designed around health using variable speed, fresh air ventilation, air cleaners, air purifiers, dehumidifiers, and more. Carrier products, carrier warranty, and carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta Carrier expert since 1947 and one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta. Call 770-GET-HEAT or go to centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Get ready for unfiltered conversations on The Janelle King Show, where we tackle the topics that you won't hear at your family gatherings, but they're absolutely crucial for a strong republic. Don't miss us live every Saturday at 3 p.m. and every Sunday at 9 a.m. right here on XTRA 106.3. But if you can't tune in, that's okay. You can catch new episodes every Tuesday on the Podcast Park or wherever you prefer to get your podcasts. Join us for these discussions, and I can't wait to meet you there.
Oh, man, look at my backyard. Looks like a tornado met a hurricane in a desert. I'm going to tell her to turf off. Or maybe you'd rather turf on with ATL Turf Co., the Southeast's leading turf installer. Whether you'd like a new football field, putting green, or have us create the perfect maintenance-free backyard of your dreams, find ATLTurfCo.com. Make your yard great again. Visit ATLTurfCo.com and see what we've created for customers like you in the Southeast. ATLTurfCo.com. And no more yard cackling.
Hello, Atlanta. It's Mark from the Safe House. And now a quote from Vice President Kamala Harris.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
What did she just say? Well, I think what she really means is come down to Atlanta Safe House and purchase a quality safe so you can be unburdened from protecting your valuables. And remember, don't let a crackhead or an illegal that Kamala, the borders are, let into our country deliver or move your safe. And one more thing, gun safes are sales tax-free at Atlanta Safe House. So drop by the showroom or go to AtlantaSafeHouse.com.
Hey sandwich lovers, today's your lucky day. There's a whole new way to roll for lunch or dinner delight with Nucky's Hoagies in the Roswell Corners Shopping Center. Now open. Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell is family owned and operated by the Sub-Sisters, Stacy and Shannon, whose love language is food and Nucky's Hoagies, their passion. When you bite into a Nucky's Hoagie, you'll taste the difference. The softest hoagie rolls ever, along with hunger-quenching sandwich combinations. Make Nucky's Hoagies in Roswell on Woodstock Road your new favorite spot for lunch or dinner.
As an official community partner of the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Braves Foundation, the Warrior Alliance connects warriors and their families to free services such as health and wellness, housing, employment, education, legal services, and so much more. We need your financial support to increase our impact and change thousands of lives for those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. It takes more than just thank you for your service. Make a donation to help warriors navigate to success after service. Go to thewarrioralliance.org/donate and make a difference today.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
Yeah. The woman's a dirty, stinking liar, a fraud, and a fake. And if God Almighty, if we elect her president, honest, there's, oh my Lord. A little Telstar here for you by the Tornadoes. Number one on the British singles chart with the instrumental song called Telstar, named after the communications satellite. The track went on to be the first major hit from Britain On the American chart, also reaching number 1, the Tornadoes in Telstar, 1962. Let's see. Birthday list includes Armand Asante. What a weird actor. He's a typical looking gangster, mobster looking great actor guy, but he also does comedy stuff too, comedy roles. Armand Asante was a very unusual actor. But I remember, I forgot the one that it was a complete comedy bit. Very, very funny movie. I can't remember what the hell it was, but anyway. Armand Asante is 75. Lori Saunders was Bobby Joe on Petticoat Junction. If you know what I'm talking about, Petticoat Junction. Bobby Joe, Lori Saunders is 83 years old today. Linda McMahon of the WWE, Vince McMahon's wife of 5 decades. Linda McMahon now working for Donald Trump as the administrator of a small business group. Linda McMahon is 76 years old today. And was that a message for me, by the way? I wonder. Oh, it was? Let's see what I got here from the thing there with the thing. Oh, we got another update. Oh, good. We'll get right to it in a second. Janis Joplin found dead on this day, 1970. Overdose of heroin in a room at the Landmark Hotel in Hollywood. Janis Joplin was 27. Other rock stars who also died at 27. Jimi Hendrix, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Brian Jones of the Stones, Grateful Dead keyboardist Ron Pigpen McKernan, and Amy Winehouse all died at the age of 27, which is bizarre. Anyway, okay, what do we got here, Pete? Let me open this up here and see what the thing is there. Former leader of Black Lives Matter in Greater Atlanta has been sentenced to 3.5 years in federal prison for stealing $500,000 from the donors. He only got 3.5 years in prison for, holy smokes. Sir Major Page, known as Tyree Conyers Page, was convicted of money laundering and wire fraud. After George Floyd died, hundreds of thousands were gifted to his nonprofit. He used the money to buy a home in Toledo, other luxury goods. Other Black Lives Matter phony freaking lying scumbags have enriched themselves with properties and wealth, large sums to left-wing causes, no scrutiny. Remember the hell the lady in charge of it was like this 34-year-old woman suddenly retired and bought a couple of mansions all over the world.
He had $500K and he bought a house in Toledo?
In Toledo, Ohio, yeah. Well, you can get yourself a hell of a house in Toledo, Ohio for $500,000, I'll bet you.
Does he have a summer rental in, Muncie?
Unbelievable. Black Lives Matter. What a freaking joke. And all you companies that got blackmailed into giving them millions of dollars. What good has Black Lives Matter meant to America since the day they were founded other than violence and hate and bigotry and division?
Terrorist group.
Unbelievable. What a freaking joke. You freaking coward business company owner. I mean, you're so freaking afraid to stand up for what's right. God. And here's a new thing in here, too. A former National Institute of Health official accused of making emails disappear has now taken the fifth. It's a girl, Margaret Moore, was with the National Institutes of Health, and she was accused by Republicans of helping others shield emails from the public. She took her Fifth Amendment right to avoid self-discrimination in a House Select Subcommittee hearing today. She was the liaison for the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, declined to answer any questions. Instead of providing the transparency and accountability American people deserve, it appears this lady, Margaret Moore, helped the efforts to evade federal record-keeping laws. Her scheme to help NIH officials delete COVID China kill virus records and use personal emails to avoid the Freedom of Information Act is appalling and deserves a thorough investigation. Well, no kidding. They say she's cooperated. My ass, she just took the fifth. Mm-hmm. She worked there for 30 years, was a special assistant to Dr. Anthony Fauci, ladies and gentlemen, and she was accused of teaching tricks to the other members of the group to hide the records and evade requests from Freedom of Information Act. She made emails disappear, and before the search starts, as one senior Fauci advisor wrote in an email, plus I deleted most of those earlier emails after sending them to her Gmail. I mean, this is
criminals.
Here we go.
A lot of them.
And under Congress, thank God, because the Department of Justice is not doing it. Thank God we have like 4 majority Republicans in Congress, and none of this would be happening. because the DOJ's not doing it. And again, she goes in there saying, find the truth, and she takes the fifth. Well, how surprising is that? Dear Lord, I just hate these people. Massachusetts governor, the girl, Maura Healey, has just now decided to put a new gun law weeks ahead of schedule into effect before they can try to countermand it in law. It involves the red flag law, no more assault weapons. They've defined them now to cover almost anything that looks like a deadly weapon. Assault weapon bans. Anybody applying for a license has to demonstrate a need for it, and also licensing authorities with mental health. I mean, oh, my God. Massachusetts already has one of the toughest anti-gun laws in the country, and they've just made it even stronger. Which, you know, that's you live there. You're going to put it. It's called Taxachusetts for a good reason. Anyway. And Eric and Lyle Menendez, the George Gascon, the DA of Los Angeles, says he's going to reopen their case and look at evidence of sexual abuse by the parents against Lyle and Eric, who slaughtered them with a shotgun. They blew away their father, then reloaded and blew away their mother while she was trying to crawl to safety. They got convicted, overturned, convicted again. They're life in prison, basically. Even Kim Kardashian says they ought to be getting out, because the parents were sexually abusing them forever. The daddy, Menendez, apparently was also abusing one of the kids in Menudo, that child-kid band thing. Anyway, so the DA is now opening the case to see whether they should get out, because, you know, if they were abused, modern day, you know, would probably give them a break.
I don't think they thought things through, though. They were being sexually abused, so they decide to murder their parents so they get sent to a place that actually thrives.
They have all the sex they want, after they spend a couple of $1 million goofing around. Anyway, one more Flounder's Funnies for Nucky's Hoagies and the girls over there. Look out, what do you got there, Flounder? A little something right here.
No doubt that mom and dad give off different memories. Like when you smell fresh-baked cookies, you think of mom. When you smell a backed-up toilet...
That's the wrong one. Let me get the right one, because we listened to that one before. Here is Jeff Foxworthy.
Here we go.
Fact of life, women always have more questions than men have answers to. Great example of this. 6-7 months ago, I get a text one day. The text says, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. I walk into the kitchen where my wife is. I said, hey, I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, was he driving? I said, I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were Carol and the kids in the car with him? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. Were the people in the other car hurt? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. What hospital did they take him to? I don't know. I just got a text that said, please pray for Tom. He was in a bad wreck. She said, well, you don't know anything. What do you know? I know you need to pray for Tom. I just got a text that he was in a bad wreck.
Jeff Foxworthy. My daughter Jennifer, 20 years clean and sober tomorrow. God bless you, sweetie. Anyway, Pete Davis and Flounder, have a great weekend, boys. It's Owen the Kimmer. I gotta go. You're killing me. Christine, sing me home, baby. Hoorah, boys. Ooh, Semper Fi, herp and herp.
Is WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the XTRA app.